Hello, I'm Daniel Bloodworth. We are Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast. This week, we're joined by Sofia Hariz.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Which many of our viewers will know from years and years of collaborations, but you've never been on this desk before.
Never been. Not on the podcast, no.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah. I think the last time I did anything podcast related, we did like some like Godzilla movie thing like years and years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
I think
wow.
that was the last one. But yeah, happy to be here.
Nice. You got Damiani there.
How's it going, everyone?
Unfortunately, feeling a little under the weather, so if he has to jump out now and then, it's okay. We'll work with it. We'll roll with it.
Yep.
Making it all happen in the control room, we have Isla Hink.
Hey, how's it go? Oh, my hair is crazy.
Crazy hair, Isla Hink.
Camera 2 is glitching out. We'll have to look at that. Okay, hi.
Okay. We'll get things figured out. Don is coming in to assist. And Don will be back there in the background. We'll see him once in a while. We'll pull him in for a couple of things. But he's working on got a preview coming up. I have to get quiet about this game, and I want everyone to hear about it. Anyways. And then we got Gabby.
Gabby.
You got some more eggs, Gabby?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So many more.
Nice. Gabby's been playing Animal Well, so helping her
There's
out.
a new documentary up about Animal Well.
Yeah, I posted a link to that, but I haven't actually got to watch it yet. But yeah, I want to check that out. Find out how Billy Basso made that crazy game.
Who knows?
I'm going to guess, too, that there's stuff in there that if you have not finished the game, you probably want to wait.
I would be one of those people that will have to wait.
Yeah. Friends, we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. This week, we've got Monster Hunter Wilds, which Isla has been playing a whole lot of.
Oh, my, yes.
Yeah. Damiani's got to play a little bit. Obviously, Huber's out, so we may run back on this thing after people got some more time in. But we'll get Isla's thoughts for sure. We've got a couple of indie shows that happened. There's an ID at Xbox thing and an Annapurna thing, so we're going to talk about some highlights from that. Isla and Sophia have been playing some 2 Point Museum,
Hell yeah.
which is kind of what kicked this all off to get Sophia on the desk.
Yay.
Because Isla was like, I've previewed that. What am I supposed to say?
And I've been playing 40 hours of Monster Hunter.
Right. I love how every time I get an update, it's gone by 10 hours.
It's probably in the 30s somewhere. I don't know.
We got a January sales report, and then I've checked out a couple of these Steam Next Fest demos. So I'll be talking about Shotgun Cop Man, as well as Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3.
Crazy name.
Those are
Love
two
it.
very compatible game names.
Yeah.
They're entirely different types of games.
Sounds like you have to talk about them together at the same time.
But yeah, before we get into things, we'll catch up. Like I said, but people that maybe just listen to this podcast have only heard your name on the wind here and there. Tell people a little about yourself, your background, stuff that you've done in games media.
Well, that's a lot. Where do I begin? Well, I've been a freelance journalist in the game sphere since, 2013. Most of my stuff I did was back home in Norway for Game Reactor. And then I've dabbled and got some bylines for other places, stuff like Movie Pilot. Can't find those anymore, but they used to be. They existed. The latest thing I did was for PC Games N. I did a thing on Baldur's Gate, which was really fun. Check that out. And yeah, just writing about games, talking about games, streaming games, hanging out here with you guys sometimes.
Yeah, we sent you to Gamescom.
Send me to Gamescom.
Gave you a full schedule along with
I
Isla
had a
and Huber.
blast. Gamescom was very fun, very stressful, but a lot of fun. So.
I'm curious because you came away with a weird impression of Ruffian the Riverside. And now a lot of people are talking about how much they love that game. What do you think?
Honestly, I think it was just the indie floor was so overwhelmed when I got there. And so there was all the booths were kind of on top of each other. So queuing up or figuring that out was so hard. everyone was talking over each other, and there were too many people, I think, for the devs, for any dev in any of the booths really, to fully understand like this is a journalist, this is not a journalist. So like it just became this like mess of people trying to like squeeze in their time. Everyone was just kind of not understanding what was going on. So like I just felt like I didn't try it in the best kind of situation.
Right, yeah.
I think that because it was just too much stuff, and then the game kind of like had a little tech error. So I've kind of just, I'm gonna try it again, clean slate. I think that's the better way to do it. So I didn't really want to say too much about it because that would have been unfair to the game, I think.
Got it. And then, yes, you've been known mostly for the past couple years for putting a lot of time into Baldur's Gate 3. Where are we at now? What's our count? Do you have an hour count?
1,000. Well, I don't know. That's what Steam tells me. The thing
Right.
is, I sometimes keep the launcher just up in
That's
the
true,
background,
yeah,
and it does
that's-
count those hours.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure. But I had a bunch of playthroughs. I finished my honor mode run, which was my best run. Now I'm just hopefully just waiting to get the new patch. I'm very excited about it. My latest playthrough, I've just kind of been doing like dumb strats, being like, can I do this dumb, horrible thing? And because it's Baldur's Gate, of course you can. So I've just been like, I don't know, min-maxing and playing with like weird strats of like how many bombs specifically does it take to kill this one boss? Like how many do I put in this backpack next to him, and like reloading and like trying less and less until like how can I do this? So, but yeah, it's been a lot of hours.
Nice. And then we're going to talk about 2 Point Museum. What else
Yes.
have you had on your plate? Anything else you've been playing?
I am still, I'm so late to the game, but I am getting into Control, which
Nice.
is so old. I know, I'm so far behind, but it's in my thing to do. But I mean, yeah, I've also been watching Isla play a lot of Monster Hunter because I love watching people play those games too. I'm going to play it too at some point, but yeah, besides that, I've been playing a lot of 2 Point Museum, and I've dabbled in Civ. Haven't gotten fully into it yet. I think I'm going to wait till whatever update happens. But yeah, I don't know. What else have I played? Finished Indiana Jones. That was a little while ago. And then some Baldur's Gate, and then kind of just, I don't know, dabbling in Magic Arena. And just
Okay.
kind of,
She made me an amazing Magic the Gathering deck for my
Oh,
right.
birthday
Yeah, yeah.
in real life.
Ooh.
I built
And it's
Isla for
amazing.
her birthday a commander deck. It is lesbian themed. It's only women. I like literally like went
Very
to
fitting.
yeah, very fitting. I went to like this website that has all the cards, and I just was like female art, and I just like scrolled, and I was like, what can work? So I spent a lot of time doing that. I guess is the latest thing I've been doing.
Nice.
Building commander decks.
My interest in Magic has been like extremely low.
Yeah.
Except recently, they just announced
Oh, right.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Crossover with Magic, and it went up by like 1%. I opened the Amazon page, but then saw the price. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
no.
It's
but
awful.
apparently, they announced at the end of the year they're doing Avatar: The Last Airbender cross Magic, and I was like, oh. I was like, so Final Fantasy and Avatar. I was like, all right, maybe. Okay, 3%. It's going up. No,
Yep.
I'm kidding. It's like a little higher. My question, real quick, is like those things are kind of expensive, but like I thought I read a comment saying like if you actually just want to play, you can get stuff for cheaper. It's just like if you care about collectability or something.
I
Or
mean,
is it really still expensive if you want the actual cards?
You can do proxies.
you can do proxies, and you can fake cards,
Right.
And you can also play online. I don't know if their cards are coming to Arena. I assume they are because I think they're all becoming like some of the old like collaboration sets were kind of their separate thing and not part of the like canon Magic cards. So like even like the Assassin's Creed set was kind of like on the outskirts. Like this is this cool thing we do, but it's not like our main
Right.
thing. Even though I really like the Assassin's Creed set, I'm unpopular opinion perhaps, but I like Assassin's Creed, so which I've been waiting for a while now. Anyways, the game, and but yeah, they are very expensive, the Final Fantasy ones, and as with a lot of other gaming related things, prices just keep getting higher and higher.
Yeah. I saw it was like the Cloud Command. I don't know what it means for a commander deck, but it was like $70. It was like, oh man. But like they had one that was cheap that was like $39.99. I was like, I don't want that one. I want like Cloud. And then like
That's
they
how
know
it
their
goes,
fan base.
yeah.
The 14 one was like, no, come on.
The sad thing is the MSRP is always like they say like $39.99, and then you go to a store and it's like that's not what it's costing in the store. It's always a lot
interesting.
expensive,
Yeah.
depending on like what it is and like what the cards in the commander set is worth, and so it's.
I feel like
it's
we
tough.
don't see that as much most of the time nowadays, but it's interesting. that-
Magic the
talk about
Gathering and graphics cards.
Yeah.
graphics cards.
It's all about the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a card, you can charge whatever you want and people will pay it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like you walk into a store and like Elden Ring is $90 because you went to the wrong store, right? You know. it's-
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Once upon a time it was like that.
Well, that's what I mean. And then when we were talking, because like people will like post like the newspaper clippings of like N64 game prices and things like that, right? And I'm like, I didn't come across that many N64 games with that crazy high prices.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like where you were and the places that you shopped. Like some places would just, it's like, no, we're gonna just charge $50 for these.
Crazy.
And other places it'd be $65, and it's like you just had to know the right stores to go to.
And that's how it feels now, kind of with Magic the Gathering, where
Yeah.
it's like you go into a store and they're like, this deck is supposed to cost the same as this commander deck, but I guess for whatever reason it doesn't, and you know, it's cards, I guess, yeah.
But yeah, the deck she built me uses a good number of proxies because otherwise it probably would have cost like
A lot.
$2,000.
Right. Yeah. You have to
I-
hunt down the specific ones for sure.
I usually do a mix because we're not playing professionally. We're playing against our friends. It's fine. You can
Yeah.
play however you want. But yeah.
And then last one. What are you looking forward to? Any games that you want to get to this year?
I want to get to Assassin's Creed. I want to try it myself.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has their opinions. I'm just going to go in for myself. I love Assassin's Creed. I'm also one of those people that doesn't necessarily play Assassin's Creed with the intent of sneaking only. So if I can come in with a bunch of noise and just have fun, like that's kind of my vibe too. So I'm excited to play that. And a lot of, indies here and there. And will GTA come out? I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. The everlasting Huber versus Schreier debate right there.
Like GTA 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. So of course I'm excited. Do I think it'll come out this year? I don't know. We'll see. If it does, I'm sucked in. That's, I will be unavailable for weeks, I am sure. But yeah, other than that, I'm just, it's the thing with games where it's just like, I almost don't believe it till I see it. I'm like, oh,
Right.
it's out. Okay,
Yeah,
now I'm
exactly.
excited. Here we
Yeah.
go.
If
So,
you have not put a specific date
yeah.
on that, you're just like, oh, just this year. Oh, fall. It's like, okay.
Even if
I
you
don't
have
need
a
to worry
date-
about that until there's a number for a specific day.
If it's 3 days until the game comes out, I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah, and speaking of, we got a couple of indie showcases.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, Annapurna had a showcase, and ID at Xbox had it like just right after. There's a lot of things that were kind of repeats in there. So I'll go through just some of the announcement things a little more quickly. But Annapurna, like a lot of the stuff that they had were the exact same things that we saw in December when we went to the event at the Game Awards.
We were in the video.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Is because of that, all
That's
of
the
us
most important thing.
are in the video multiple times.
Yep. Very excited that my golf boots made the cut. I was like, oh my God, the one day I wear these crazy big chunky boots. There I'm sitting. All right.
And it's funny because there's a lot of times where like I will be in something, right? Like at the Game Awards or DICE or something, but it's like you have to like pause on the moment the camera pans across and like know exactly where I'm sitting to see like the 5 pixels where my head is.
Yeah.
Whereas like this, it's like you can't really miss me. Like
Yeah.
it's like I'm there and then I'm there and then I'm there. So, but it was a nice the way they did this. I think it took a lot from the way Day of the Devs do their videos.
Yes. I think
Because you
so.
had like some of these slice of life things for the devs that are here in Los Angeles, where they kind of like followed them on their bikes around town and like were in
Yeah.
their office space and all of that kind of thing. And it was really nice and like, sunny, well lit.
I like the vibes of the Annapurna showcase.
Yeah.
I like the we're at home and we're in front of our computers talking and like just sitting in the sofa in the showcase and like you said, we tried a lot of those games and really good impressions on them too as well, which you guys probably talked about that already.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So if you want to get the most of those game impressions, go to our December 20th episode of the podcast, and we've got all of that stuff there. But some quick hits. Wheel World,
Sorry.
which is like the it's kind of like the Burnout Paradise on bikes. That's got a demo that you can check out now, and it's coming in the summer. Wanderstop also has a demo that's coming March 11th. They've got a special edition for Cocoon and a vinyl from I Am 8-Bit.
Nice.
And they announced that studio is working on a new game that they're partnering with Annapurna for.
Cool.
Unlike anything they've ever done before, which is funny because it's like, okay, well, you did Cocoon, and then you previously at the last studio you made like Limbo and Inside, but those
Unlike
are already
anything.
pretty different.
Yeah. This is even more different.
Yeah. To a T, the Keita Takahashi game, from the guy that did Katamari and all that, that's coming out on May 28th.
Nice.
I really liked what I played of that at the showcase. And then Sayonara Wild Hearts Shadow dropped PS5 version. So they've got a new high score mode there, as well as you get a free upgrade if you have PS4.
Cool.
So,
That's nice.
and then the new thing is Skin Deep.
Oh yeah.
Made by our friend Brennan.
Yeah. Shut up, Brennan.
Blendo Games, makers of Quadrilateral Cowboy, working on this like sci-fi comedy FPS kind of immersive sim. It's a lot of the systems it shows. A lot of vents.
Yeah.
You show me vents, that's an immersive sim, pretty much.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Brendan is into all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Everyone thinks you're dead. I love that as
Yeah.
your stealth cooldown message. But look just how colorful this game is.
It looks so fun.
And it's on the Doom 3 engine.
That's crazy.
A game known for being so dark that you can't see anything half the time.
I think that's the same engine he used for Quadrilateral Cowboy too. He's like programmed on that for a really long time.
Yeah.
He just really likes it.
Yeah, they say they started back in 2018 on this.
Yeah.
You play as Nina Pasadena.
Love that name. 10 out of 10.
And this shot here is cool. Where like you're just floating out in space and then come in from another room.
That is so fun.
And she was like one of the galaxy's like greatest assassins or whatever, and now she's like an insurance commando for
Cool.
a group of cats protecting their ships from pirates. But the pirates also like regenerate, so you like there's a shot where like you have to like take their head and flush it down the toilet before they regenerate.
So fun.
All right.
I'm so in. I love games where it's just fun and silly. Like we need that right now. I
Yeah.
need fun and silly, colorful. It doesn't look like
This
anything.
Titanfall animation popping
Yeah.
up there too. Like what's that going on?
It looks so like unlike anything I've seen. And it's like Annapurna stuff, and I've never seen before.
Yeah, but like a lot of Annapurna stuff is like very like narrative, thoughtful, and like this is like
Yeah.
no, we're going like full comedy.
Yeah.
This is very Blendo Games though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his stuff is so it's really like 30 Flights of Loving and Quadrilateral Cowboy. Like it's very stylistic and very cool and like
Yeah.
he just makes really cool stuff. Or the whole team. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like and then some of the things that you use, like you like throw a banana peel at a guy and he slips on it, and like there's tossing black pepper and like there's a box of flowers.
So fun. Y'all are streaming this, right? You have to.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
So fun.
And the other thing too, it's not gonna come across since we're talking, but the sound effects in this are really good and really like sell a lot of that silliness, zaniness. There is a demo out right now, and the full game comes out April 30th.
Cool. I'm excited.
Soon.
Yeah, soon. I can't believe that's soon. I can't believe February's never the It's insane.
Yeah. Next up is the ID at Xbox Showcase, which again has been part of the IGN Fan Fest. So they've been doing announcements like all this week. As far as like a show to watch, not a fan.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Like
it was strange format. It was very weird.
It was, yeah. Like I know that these things tend to be a lot of trailers back to back, but like it really did just feel like a lot of trailers back to back with some guys who like, hey, these are the things that you just saw. Hey, these are the next things that you're gonna see.
It was also the thing of like, if you're just YouTube, like the ID at Xbox, I'm like, is this it? Is this it? But then there's just a bunch of like, it's weird that you're not just like, here it is, full, here you go, enjoy. And I was like, I don't know. It was confusing. And
Got it. Yeah, I know they did a blog post on Xbox Wire as well that kind of wrapped it all up too.
That's the one I read at the end.
There are also a ton of freaking ads.
Yeah.
Like over and over, like just like IGN guides, ads and stuff baked into it. So yeah, probably one you probably easier time catching up on than me watching it live.
Yeah, no, I ended up going to the blog to catch up on everything.
Nice. Similarly, there were a lot of games in there that were just kind of like, this game that we already know about exists. But there were some announcements and release dates in there for some things that we knew about. Revenge of the Savage Planet, coming out May 8th.
that one.
Yeah, that's the co-op Metroidvania.
Niebuhr and I played it, yeah.
Yeah, you played the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then this one I played a little bit of at the Game Awards as well. They came out there like Annapurna did.
Nice.
Blueprints,
Hell yeah.
April 10th.
Most anticipated, baby.
I've heard so much about this.
This
Right.
game is sick.
But I've decided to go in blind just because I've heard so many good things from Isla that I'm like, I'm just going to go in blind. No trailer.
Absolutely.
You're gonna hate it, babe.
Yay!
Just kidding. It's great.
Blueprints has literally been in everything now.
Yeah, every showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And yet every time I talk about it with anyone, everyone's like, "What? What?" And I'm like, "Blueprints." Whatever.
Hey, we got Shuhei on board though. You see that?
Shuhei into Blueprints?
Yeah, Shuhei's like, this is a GOTY contender.
Oh.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Shu knows what's up, dude.
Shu knows what's up. It's
Gaming's
uncanny.
kindly
Like
prince.
over and over, like there'll be like some game that I start getting into, and then Shu starts tweeting, and I was like, okay, my
Yeah.
radar's
Nice.
still good.
Yes. Yes.
Shuhei knows.
Shuhei knows what's up.
33 Immortals, the crazy 33-player Hades-like game from Thunder Lotus,
Crazy.
is coming out March 18th in early access.
Nice.
And that's a Game Pass one as well.
Love
yeah.
Game Pass.
Oh, yeah, they had a lot of the big, giant title cards on all these trailers, too. It's like, on Game Pass or coming to Xbox. Like,
I mean, it's
slow
incredible
the pace
value.
down, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is incredible value.
Right.
It's true.
Speaking of which, Balatro's now on Game Pass.
That's
Damn.
cool.
Yeah.
Good for them, yeah.
And they have a new Friends of Jimbo pack that has Assassin's Creed, Fallout, Bugsnax, and I think 8 different things in a new pack.
Critical Role, I think,
Yeah,
too.
Critical Role's
Not
in
sure
there.
how that works, but that's cool.
I keep forgetting to turn those on.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like sometimes I'll turn them on and like I'll play around and then like, all right, and then I turn them back off. It's like I'm not that into the like extra cards, but it's fun to see them. Fun to see what art they
Cool
come
that
up
it
with.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, a lot of the other like things that are coming to Game Pass, including like Hotel Barcelona, which is the
Oh yeah.
Swery and Suda game. Ratatan, which is like the spiritual successor to Patapon.
Wait, do we have a date on Hotel Barcelona yet or no?
I don't think they give it an actual date. I think it's just like nebulously this year or summer or something like that. Let me see. I might have written down somewhere.
Mama thirsty for a quirky 7, baby.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think that they put an actual date on it yet. And then what else? Oh, Tanuki. Remember the Tanuki Pond Summer, the game where like little Tanuki with the like postal delivery job, and then you like ride your bike around town and do little mini games and stuff.
None of us have object permanence blood. We
It's-
don't remember anything.
It's a very cute game where you play as a Tanuki.
Oh.
with a bike.
The blog post says Barcelona launching 2025.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, nothing yet.
nothing yet.
But the ones I want to get a little deeper into, starting with hurdling, which we've seen before, but we got a closer look at here. Interesting that they start with like these city shots and stuff. Like when you're thinking about a game where you herd animals, you don't think about being in the back alley pulling a trash bin off of their face.
Yeah.
It was funny. I wonder if it's like a vibes thing. Because when I watched that, the first thing I thought of was like Stray. And I was like, ooh, these are good vibes. You know,
Yeah.
Stray was cozy. And I'm like, maybe that was like, they're like, oh, this is for you. But
Tokyo
I mean,
jungle vibes there too for a
yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see parts where you're like having them push things out of the way. You see things where like getting chased by predators and you're up in the mountains. And pulling them out of the ice. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting thing. I think it's probably gonna be kind of like Journey-ish, right?
Which is like Sophia bait. I love Journey. It's like one of my favorite games ever. I'm very excited. I'm also like, am I gonna cry from this game? Like, is this gonna be one of those? I almost cried from Stray. I know I wasn't supposed to, but I was like, there was a part where I was like, uh-oh. But yeah, it looks so pretty. I'm excited to see. I wonder, like, how long is this? Like, how...
Yeah, because I could see this being like a little 2 to 3 hour game.
I kind of hope it is.
Yeah.
I would love a cozy, like, just... Yeah, like a Journey type. Sometimes shorter makes it more impactful. Feels better to play.
And I'm curious, like how, because like we see parts where they have like different numbers of they call them calicorns.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious how you get more.
Yeah.
Like, what are those mechanics like? What happens if you lose one?
Oh, my God.
Right? Like,
So
if you're
sad.
getting chased by
Oh,
predators, you
no.
get these birds coming down, like, trying to get the calves or whatever. Like,
That is so sad if you have to, like, lose them and they die. Oh, I can't even, no.
if you have to rescue them, then there's got to be a risk.
Oh my God. Yeah, I guess so. It looks very nice. It looks very comfy, cozy.
That's coming to basically everything but Switch, it looks like, in the summer.
Switch 2.
Yeah, Switch 2 confirmed.
There was a game, I forget which one it was, but like the press release literally said Switch 1 plus 2.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice.
Don't worry, Pokemon Presents today or whatever had to use a coming to Switch family of consoles.
Oh.
We've heard before, but it's like
It means something different now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, do you mean the old one or do you mean it's coming to Switch 2? Yeah, of course. For yeah,
That's cool.
we'll see.
Next up, I've got Wax Heads, which is a really cute, cartoony, basically running a record store kind
Yeah.
of simulator.
It's like the custom records, right? I think you like make little custom records.
Do you make custom ones?
I think so, yeah.
Nice.
It looks really, I love this art style. It's so different than kind of anything I've seen. But yeah.
Yeah,
looks
that's
cute.
one of the difficulties of running a podcast is trying to describe an art style.
Yeah. It is really hard.
It's like
but
it looks
yeah.
sort of like a comic book, but not really.
Sort of like
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Paper cutouts.
I love how they have like organizing the drawers and like things on the counter for you to fidget with when you don't have any customers.
So cool. Yeah, no, I really like the vibes of this.
And then the boss, like, just look at her. She's like holding a pen like it's a cigar.
It looks very cute.
2020.
2026, though.
2020, yeah, that's the thing.
Oh.
Summer
Yeah.
2026.
That's an early, yeah, we've got a long
Yeah.
way to go.
But it looks like some neat things. Trying to find the stuff for your customers and put it all together.
Cute.
One of the premieres that they had is called The Lonesome Guild. Don't Nod is publishing this, but it's from Tiny Bull Studios. And Damiani, this looks kind of like Zelda with a party of different characters.
Oh, I was asking like you meant like Four Swords or
No, it's not multiplayer. It's a single-player game, but you have a group of characters that you meet along the way.
Well, Blood. You can play Four Swords Adventures by yourself with controlling the other
Okay.
characters, so it's technically doesn't require multiplayer, right?
The tone in your voice.
Here, let's play this game. We're talking about a game that's meant to be played with multiple people versus a game that's meant to be played by yourself. That's the point. Anyways, but yeah, they say it's action RPG. What's interesting is the combat. It looks like the ghost like possesses the different characters, and so that's how it determines like who you control.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
And there's some shots in there too where it looks like the ghost kind of creates like a safe bubble for you to go through in like a dangerous storm or something like that. And then yeah, you got the bonds.
Love bonds.
Missing Huber for the relationship ranks up.
I can step in and say, if a game don't have bonds, you lose a little bit of me, a little bit. Gotta have bonds.
Yeah, look at that campfire shot.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, there's like kind of like 7 or 8 different characters in the party.
I love the art on all of these characters. They're beautiful. Very cute. Very cool.
Yeah. Curious if you got to look at that one, Damiani, what you were thinking.
I'm seeing a lot of AoEs in this footage.
Yep.
So it looks, you know me and AoEs. I like that. I mean, one of the fights looked like pretty intense, actually. So I was a little bit more surprised. I thought this would be a little bit more laid back, like focusing on like the puzzle elements. But they seem to be leaning pretty heavily on the combat, which, you know, that seems pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like for me, it also matters about like how like the world is put together.
Right.
If it's a stage base, like it's just you're like in an environment, and then you move on, like or if it's gonna be more interconnected, kind of like like other sort of Zelda-esque games like this, like Death's Door was another one. I remember playing that one, and that one was being compared to that, but it was not quite seamless. But you did have like regional environments that you like were interconnected, and for me, like yeah, it's like how you know interesting are those going to be, you know, and the puzzles, like it's very tricky. You know, I feel like to do like good puzzles because I saw a pushing an object one, you know, block pushing. It's like, yeah, I mean, but a lot of these games do really, you know, they kind of long have eclipsed Zelda in the puzzle department. So, you know, I would probably have a little bit of faith in this game, but based on what I've seen, that the puzzles would probably be pretty good. And yeah, visually it looks pretty good too. So, kind of pleased with it. Yeah, sorry, just looking through some screenshots too. This one giant boss with a giant AoE.
Yeah.
Multiple circle AoEs. See, it's a little more complex. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the boss designs. They look pretty cool. Next is Tempopo from Witchbeam, friends of the show. They've been supporting us like since before we started.
Hell yeah.
They did Unpacking and Assault Android Cactus.
Loved Unpacking.
Yeah. And this is interesting because it's like you've got these little flower bud guys and these levels that look like kind of like Captain Toad.
I was gonna say this is Captain Toad.
Also, this little girl in the corner.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
so cute.
she's like a conductor. She's got the wand and keeping the beat.
Love that.
And there's a demo out, and so someone that's played the demo probably understands how it works a little bit better than me. But it seems like what you do is you kind of like place little markers in the levels, and then when the Tempopo come across them, then that will like change their direction or make them jump.
Yo, this looks sick.
So cute.
Yeah,
I want to
that's
play the
like-
demo right now. Yeah, that's so awesome.
So it's sort of like you kind of figure out like what your path is, and then you start the song, and they start going along the path.
This looks very jolly.
I get it now. Tempo.
Yeah.
Now it makes way more sense.
And
Yeah,
you're
this looks really
saving
good.
all the little Tempopos?
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, and it seems like you're trying to get these musical flowers, and then there's like a garden where you plant them all and kind of arrange it to your desires.
There's these themes. There's a winter themed environment. Ooh.
This is very cute.
Bring this to Switch 2, please.
Oh, yeah.
This would be a Switch
This will
game.
not run well on Switch.
I think it probably will, but okay.
Nah, it will be framey.
That's coming fairly soon, April 17th.
Wow.
And like I said, there is a demo out for that one.
Very cute.
Also very, very cute is Woodo, which I've seen one time before, at least. But yeah, this is like every object looks like it was hand carved and polished. And you just have these lovely little like diorama scenes, like little hand carved peas in a dish.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm
Feels like
really-
a feel-good game.
Yeah.
Developed, sorry.
No, I really love how so many indie games now feel like they're experimenting with the art of it and like aesthetically, not just gameplay wise. Like this is like, it's so I don't know, interesting, cute. Every adjective that I will say 10,000 times. So cute, looks good. I don't know. There's just this one like I want to touch it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like it really like sells you on the like, oh, this could be like a physical thing on your desk.
Yeah, the wood textures and stuff are so convincing.
So convincing, yeah.
Looks really good. And it's got the like tilt shift kind of like miniature
Right.
kind of camera lens thing going on, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Like-
Like
feel
tiny
good.
glades sort of.
Yeah.
It's cool
Yeah.
all the different types of wood, like all the different, yeah. It's
Well, and it's fun because yeah, some of them you can tell it's like, okay, this is painted, but this is stained.
yeah.
Right.
It's neat.
Oh my god.
What a cute ass little game.
Yes.
And so
Frogs.
it sounds like it's sort of like you're it's kind of like this kind of like you've got like a narrator who is kind of talking about their memories of like this summer. Just like each representing a cherished moment of foxy summer. And it's kind of inspired by like hidden object games.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask how the gameplay works.
It looked like it gives you a list of things to colorize, and then you
Yeah.
find them and put the stain or whatever on it. That looks like what it's doing.
Yeah.
Steam says a relaxing 3D puzzle game where you assemble. Oh, yeah, that's it. 3D puzzle game. Sorry, I thought it said it was like assembling stuff, but that's just what we're seeing in the trailer. It's not part of the puzzle part.
Yeah. I saw
also-
like a little poop on that inventory.
Of course. It also looks like, as I said, it looks like a feel good game, but like it actually legitimately looks like the developer Good Feel, who made like Yoshi,
Yeah.
like Epic, like it's like in that vein, like it's that unique. Yeah, this is really cool.
I'm
Oh, I
also-
like the mouse interactions. That's cute. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying I also appreciate trailers that don't give away too much. It's just it's the taste to come, and yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'd be
This looks
shocked
great.
if there was some big narrative twist to spoil.
I mean, those
Those
geese
ducks
have
have teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
what's
have teeth.
happening?
There you go. I mean, you never know. That's kind of like how when we were playing, what's the name of the game we were playing at the Annapurna? Wonder Stop.
Oh,
Wonder
yeah,
Stop,
yeah.
And I was like, is there something? Is there gonna be? I don't know.
I was like, are you tired of being asked what the twist is?
Did you just make a cute game? That's great.
I mean, I
too.
honestly think that for that, the twist is just like the darkness of the story,
Yeah.
Right.
Like from the jump.
Yeah, the
think so.
trauma of her past and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Very excited about that one.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but I saw somebody had interviewed Keita Takahashi at that too, and it was like, and they were complimenting him, things like, "I love how you commit to all of these really funny, weird ideas," and he like sadly said like, "Well, this is supposed to be a normal one."
Oh my god.
That's like when I'm making music and I'm like, I'm gonna make an up-tempo dance number, and then people cry when they listen to it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, but yeah, I when I was playing that, it was great to interact with Keita. He's just like such a quiet, humble guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And then last one of this, I'm curious if we can get Don's thoughts over here if he's seen this yet. Descenders Next.
Cool name.
So the first Descenders was about mountain biking and stuff, and now this one's snowboarding and mountain boarding. So you,
Oh,
yeah,
Don's
I was
busy.
gonna say I was like, it looks like Riders Republic, sort of.
I snowboard, and
Yeah.
I have thought about buying a mountain board before, but I own a one wheel, which is basically a motorized mountain board. This
Okay.
looks sick as shit.
right?
Yeah.
Like
This
it
looks
looks
fun.
really fun.
How many-
SSX is back.
Yeah.
Cool
If
borders.
EA won't do it, they'll do
Yeah,
it.
hold
Do
my
we know
beer.
how many players it is?
at
12
least
players
3.
on the
Nice.
same
wow,
slopes, yeah.
12?
That is fun.
On the
That's fun.
same, not, or online, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so 12 players on the same slope. So I
Okay.
think that you're like not necessarily like tied together or anything like that.
Easy A tournament.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yo, this looks sick.
This
So
looks
there is a
cool.
demo for this one too.
Nice.
And it's out April 9th. Very, very soon.
Cool.
Happy birthday to Gabby.
Yeah.
It's not actually your birthday.
Game Pass day one.
Nice.
incredible value.
The mountain boarding helped that you've got a snowboard game coming out in April.
Yeah. Like they were like, shit, we gotta put some mountain boarding on.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, so I think that does it for what I wanted to wrap up. I don't know if you had any thoughts.
I think we got through them all.
Well, we didn't get through them all, but on purpose.
Well,
yeah, they had a weird Liza P thing in there at the end where it's like, hey, look, we're revealing
Yeah.
Overture.
I can't talk
but
on
then, like,
Liza P, but
we saw it already. We
Right.
knew. Yeah.
Maybe this time.
It was what we saw of Overture was new. They had like a second character there, and I guess it's a prologue, like it's a prequel to the main game.
so I guess in case you forgot, here it is again. I
Yeah,
guess one
but
of those.
like it was weird because it was like one last thing, kind of like treating it like a reveal, and it's like, well, we
Oh,
just
I see,
saw
yeah.
Overture like a week or two ago.
Can't get enough. Can't
Yeah.
get enough Liza P.
Yeah, yeah, I need to finish that sometime.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what I played.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna do the swap. To get Isla in here to talk about Monster Hunter. All right, we have swapped the swap.
Wife swap.
Isla, you've been playing a ton of Monster Hunter.
Boy, have I.
You also played a ton of it before we got the review codes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which-
multiple times.
Like, look, I love Monster Hunter, but replaying the first 6 hours of this game 4 times, I hate Nata now. This little kid pisses me off. No, it's fun. You know, it's just like any Monster Hunter game where the beginning is kind of tutorial-y and they have like a long sections of you riding your sacred while someone is talking, and you're like, this was
The slow walk kind
the
of thing,
slow walk,
right?
like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
this, you know, and like that's awesome the first time when you're like looking around and learning the map and like, you know, and doing it, just having to replay the beginning of the game is whatever, but you know, occupational hazard. But once you get into the fights, this is a good game, dude. These fights are great. I mean, you know, it's more Monster Hunter. I don't know if I'm crazy or what, but it feels like the monsters, like the animation on these monsters, the telegraphing, like it's really good in this one, I find.
Yeah, you just kind of you get it.
You just everything is just fluid. It just feels like, yeah, this is a living thing, and I'm gonna kill its ass, for reasons that are just kind of loosely, you know.
Don't think about it too much. It's
Don't
fun.
think about it. Just don't think about
Get
it.
a cool weapon and go use it.
Yeah, exactly. But it has really cool. The story is neat. I'm not going to go into the story because I don't want to spoil you on anything. But it deals with these different like groups of people around this area, which is really neat. And each of the areas is kind of weather related or like natural phenomenon related, sort of. Like this is the group that has like a giant, not kiln, but like blacksmithing forge. There it is. And you know, their whole kind of society is based around the fire festival or whatever they call it, where there's the flame spring, and that like makes their forge able to make this really strong metal. But you know, classic Monster Hunter narrative. There's something messing all of the stuff up, and you got to look into it and see what's going on. Yeah, and then the story is neat. Takes you to different biomes, different weather situations, really cool situations, like very cinematic moments in a lot of these fights that you feel like a real badass coming through on your, you know, we've got a chocobo at home.
Yeah, right.
I was playing. There was a multiplayer session that somebody just like randomly popped in while I was hunting a monster. It was right when I was at the end of the hunt too, so I was like, "You're welcome." But they had colorized because you can customize the colors of your sacred. And they had just made it all yellow.
They just totally made it.
And I was like, okay, I get it. I see you.
That's
see you.
nice.
That's straight up chocobo.
How is that something you can do fairly early, or you have to like?
Yeah,
earn
I
all
think
the
you unlock
pigments,
it
or-
in that Fireforge area. It's
Okay.
like a couple hours in maybe. But
But I was just
yeah,
curious, like if that's kind of the thing where it's like with other parts of it, whether you need to earn the customization materials or anything.
I don't think you need to use any mats to change the colors on that. You don't to change the colors on your tents because you can put up pop-up tents in all the regions. This is something different from the other games where, like in World, you found a campsite and then it was just, okay, you've got that campsite. That's like a fast travel place. In this one, there are way more campsites that you can find, but some of them are in risky or dangerous areas and some of them are in safe areas. And
Got it.
so if you put one in a dangerous or risky area, there's a good chance a monster will destroy it. So that you'll have to either rebuild it or choose a different one.
Got it.
So that's kind of an
Will they
interesting
destroy
wrinkle.
it like while you're there at camp, or just like while you're away?
Anytime. Yeah,
Okay.
anytime.
Nice.
Because, the monsters are always kind of just wandering. And something that's different from this is that to do a field investigation or an investigation or a field hunt or whatever, you can just leave from base camp. You don't have to like start a quest. You can start a quest, but you can just like walk out into the world and go wherever you want. So that's kind of cool. Once you get through the story, you get high rank stuff, and then weather and all that stuff starts changing. Which is cool. I'm not clear yet if that changes like the materials or the like monster appearances or like monster parts or whatever. I'm still in like post credits, but like mid to early high rank, where I'm still getting like I still have quests and I'm still getting
Yeah.
stuff, and like there are things that initially I wasn't allowed to talk about that they recently changed their review restrictions to let me talk about because I think they mentioned them in a thing. But
Right.
like there are things you can get in high rank, like tempered monster hunts, stuff like that, where it's like harder fights. But you can get from those new materials called they're called like artifacts or something. But you can get Artian weapons, which are like old school tech. And you can put parts together and make a weapon. Like not monster parts in the traditional way, but like you need this part can be the staff, this part can be the blade, this part can be the device, and then the elements you use in those determine what kind of like if it'll have ice or dragon or
Right,
whatever,
right.
So that's kind of fun, and I've been using that, and right now it's the strongest weapon I have. Let me think. There's a lot of really cool like area designs and stuff. This one's interesting because there are some things that are kind of mainstays that are sort of different. Like if it's in there, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in there and I just haven't found it or like been introduced to it yet, but like there's not a palico that cooks you food so far. I just cook all by myself, which is different. And like that little weird little changes like that. But yeah, it's a lot of NPCs that you deal with, each one in different areas. Like she's the blacksmith, the blonde lady. Alma is your kind of like handler who gives you your quests and stuff. She's the one in the glasses. There are a lot of support hunters, which is cool. And there's a setting, a real quality of life setting that you can do. You can turn on to automatically SOS flare at begin quest.
Oh, okay.
And that's really nice. And in the new single player online, whatever confusing name that the mode is, what that means is the second the mission starts, it'll start trying to match you or it'll put in these NPC support hunters into the fight. So you can have that turned on if you always want an NPCs, to come and help you.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing, right? Is like you need to be drawing aggro somebody.
Yeah, it depends on your weapon, but yeah, for sure. And like, I beat the whole game. Like, I think I had already done credits before multiplayer was even like open. So you can easily play through with the NPC SOS flare stuff, and it works great. And I have played multiplayer as well, and that works great. I know that some people are saying the engine is getting strained.
Oh yeah, that's been a thing.
RE
right?
engine.
Like, Damiani, were you talking about that, or is it somebody else?
I mean, I think we brought up on group stream, but I mean, it seems to be like what a lot of reviewers are saying that
Yeah,
it's pretty taxing.
I haven't watched the. Sorry, Damiani, go ahead.
Oh, that was really.
Oh, okay. I know that I saw Digital Foundry has a video out that I haven't watched yet, but I was going to watch it after today. I don't know. I didn't want it to like color my impressions or whatever, but like for my not money because they said it's a code, but like I've been playing it on balanced. I started it in performance and then I switched it to balanced because I wanted the graphics to be a little better. I'm playing on a base PS5, not a Pro, and like as I always say, I'm a little less susceptible to like frame rate dips than maybe some of the other people, but I've not really noticed. It hasn't bothered me really playing on balanced, which is like a mix of performance and graphics. On performance mode, it was fine. It just looked like the LOD was a little lower. Distance stuff was even lower too. But like, I've been playing with the insect glaive, which is a pretty quick jumping around, moving all over the place weapon, and like it's been fine. The impacts feel really good. It is Monster Hunter is very complicated, and I've played most of the last several, or like all of the last several Monster Hunters, and even for me, there were a few things that were like, I was 10 hours in when I discovered like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense that you can do that, or like this button combo does that. So give yourself a little grace. Don't be like me and trying to rush through to get to the real stuff. Which, because I was rushing because I'd already played the beginning. But like, if you're new to Monster Hunter, like it is very complicated. It will take you a long time to like kind of get all the nuance and the details.
Yeah.
But
well, you can just like
it's really fun
for me because I've not put a lot of time into any Monster Hunters. But the times that I have dabbled in it, it's just like trying to like sort through the items.
Dude, yeah,
all
the
items and menus for that. Is
good
like,
Lord,
a little crazy.
It's
a lot here.
I don't want to say that the item handling is needlessly complex, but the item handling is needlessly complex. Endemic life is fun. You can capture like little creatures and stuff, which is really fun. So far, I haven't found a place to like
Frogbirds,
like player housing or whatever. I can't remember if that came in later in Monster Hunter World. Chat, maybe you remember, but I would love to have that in this player housing if that's a thing. Other than the camps and stuff, because you can individually customize every single pop-up camp separately. And there was no batch customized, so you have to do them all separately, which is funny. But yeah, you meet a bunch of palicos, you meet some cool, I always want to say Lacayans, but that I don't think is right. Little fun beast guys that talk really funny. They're wonderful out in the forest, and they make you pay them like tribute to go through the forest,
Oh, okay.
They're little sweetie pies. The big thing in this one, because like talking about complicated mechanics, like in the previous one, I never exactly meshed with the wire bug system. Like the parts of it that I used and thought were cool like worked, but I knew there was more to it that I wasn't really taking advantage of. That mechanic is not here. You have a grapple that you can grab stuff off of while you're riding the Sacred, which is huge. That's something I didn't catch in the preview. That when I finally played it at home, I was like, oh my god, you don't have to like drive around and try to pick stuff up because the bird will auto run.
Right.
Which at first it takes some getting used to if you're trying to like move it because you're like fighting against it. But it actually makes a lot of sense because in battles you'll be sharpening and healing and putting on powders and stuff during that time while the monster is moving. And also these environments are insanely complicated and very vertical, and having a bird that knows where it's going is very nice because then you don't have to know. You can also carry 2 weapons, which is neat. You can switch on the bird by pushing one of the D-pad buttons like down or something, or left, I think. One of them, which is very cool because then you can kind of be like, all right, I'm going to start out with the hunting horn, buff my team, switch to the insect glaive, whatever. It's wonderful. A lot of the outfits look great. The Lalabarina outfit is super cool. It's like a goth dress. But the system in this one that's like the wire bug is the weak point system, which is really, really good. It makes sense. It's really easy to understand. I see everyone utilizing it. You hold L2, you see the red spot glowing. That's where you've been attacking it, so you've weakened it. It's very interactive. Like you can target a spot specifically to be like, let's work on the leg, let's work on the head, whatever. And then you hit L2, you hit R1.
Environmental stuff.
Yeah, the environmental traps are really good. With the insect glaive, that's the command anyway. And then you hit the weak spot. What's really great for a charge weapon like the insect glaive, if you hit a weak spot, the bug will get all 3 charges, all 3 colors. So that's just super cool. Later in the fight, you can like charge your weapon up pretty much immediately instead of doing like different hunts and stuff or different like shooting the bug out and stuff. But there are nuanced controls for the insect glaive too. Like you can charge up the insect throwing and it'll go through the whole monster and get all the colors and whatever. Kind of more advanced control stuff that you kind of pick up as you go into the game. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just like going whole hog crazy into Monster Hunter here. Anybody have any questions?
Oh, I mean, it's good to go over that stuff.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of people want to know, like, how is it different? Want to hear, like, what's different from it compared to, like, World and Rise.
Yeah.
And, especially because, like, this one was meant to follow up World.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are they doing to, like, build off of those years of doing that? And then, like, the expansion as well. The thing I'm most curious to hear about, because obviously I haven't put any real time into this, is the sentiment being shared by reviewers so far because the game just is about to or just released.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Is the difficulty because there's the emphasis on story and making it easier for people to get into and giving newcomers like a better hook apparently. But it comes at the expense of this is the easiest Monster Hunter ever made so far, including some reviewers did point out it is also the high rank stuff is easier than it's ever been. So it's not just the story.
Yeah.
Because usually getting up to that point is usually considered the tutorial by most people.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, all right, high rank, and then like all the expansion stuff is where it can be difficult. I mean, what are your thoughts on like that? And was that kind of your experience? And
for sure, yeah.
Do you really think it, do you see it, is it bad or good, or does it even matter to you?
It's weird because that totally tracks. Playing Insect Glaive, I'm usually not in the line of fire too much anyway. So like I'm hunter rank like 31 or 32. I have like 20 or 30 hours in the game. I don't know specifically. And I have fainted twice in one fight, the same fight. Still won, but it was because I forgot to eat first and was out of potions entirely because I hadn't been picking up honey and stuff. So like I ran out of healing items and I didn't eat first. So I was at a huge disadvantage and I still won the fight. And like, yeah, otherwise I haven't lost at all. And yeah, no, that's not to be like, oh, I'm the greatest, but it's like, yeah, this game does seem pretty easy. You know, like in the higher ranked stuff, fighting like tempered monsters or like really late game stuff in World and in Rise, then we would be having feints and stuff like that. And so far, yeah, there's been no fight that has challenged in that way. Really, Rathalos and Rathian, I had to like kind of like perk up and pay attention. There's a monster called Zawu or something like that. That's like a freaky octopus that I really had to be on my toes the first couple of times I fought it. But yeah, generally I would say it's fairly easy so far, but I'm still in like, even though I'm in high rank, like I don't have all the monsters again in high rank. I'm still like going back through them all. Because basically what happens is you play the game, you fight most of the monsters, you get credits, and then, you know, it goes high rank where it's like the real fights and the real gear and like actual, you know, monster hunt. The real monster hunter starts now, you know. And then you kind of like, you have a lot of the monsters, but then you like re-find them and find new variants of them. There are a couple of cool variants in this that... even if I'm allowed to talk about, I'm not going to talk about them because they're just kind of interesting narratively and gameplay wise. But those are fun wrinkles. But yeah, sorry, long answer for yeah, it's easy. But I'm hoping that later stuff will get harder again. Like I don't know if I'm on pace or behind other reviewers if they've gone all the way like way farther into Hunter or high rank, but like. Certainly pre-credits, this game is not hard at all.
I am curious, too, how much of that perception varies based on your experience. Mm-hmm. Like, having played a ton, like, if you played a ton of World and Iceborne, then it's like, you know, like, they've changed up the weapons, but they haven't changed them up that much, right? Like,
the weapons are all the same.
The same set of weapons. So,
it's
like,
the same, yeah.
Know how to use your weapons.
Yeah.
Then you're kind of on an advantage just from the get-go.
It takes, if you play something like Insect Glaive, you know, it takes you 30 minutes to be like, what the fuck are all the buttons again? Like,
right.
Like, what? Because the control screen is, it makes sense once you're in it, but you're like, what?
And
How
like
do I
saying,
launch my bug?
Tells
like,
and stuff are easier. Like,
yeah.
you can dodge when, like, oh, okay. Like,
well,
rather, because there's like, you know, so many games when like you need to dodge or parry or whatever, and it's just like, no matter what you do, it's like you just can't seem to figure out like what that timing is.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because the monsters are easier to read than you know in a lot of big monster hunting games, including earlier Monster Hunters, and so maybe there is something to that where it's like they made the fidelity of the animations is too good, so because you know like you know. Insect Glaive is my main, so like that's my big frame of reference. And like I know how long I'm committed to an animation, and like if I'm committed to an animation and I see the monster start an animation, I'll dodge and then just start attacking from the right, you know. And like it's really easy to read those telegraphs once you get used to each monster. And that's part of the joy of fighting a new monster because you're like, I don't know what this freaky thing is about to do.
Right.
The squid thing especially was like, whoa, like, okay, like your body just
ones too,
works different. Yeah, the spider one is really cool. Like, Lalabarina, she'll like look underneath herself and then attack from the rear. And if you don't notice that at first, you're like, oh shit, okay, like I just got stabbed by a giant stinger out of nowhere, you know, but she's like, no, she's telegraphing it. Yeah, it's interesting, and also I think that that's something that can easily be adjusted too. And you know, if and when there's an expansion, that's when things will really heat up, I think. And tempered monsters and other kinds of monsters late game, especially if they're affected by weather effects, I think I could see that stuff getting like really hairy later on. But yes, so far not been hard. But it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. And I'm just now starting to get into like multiple monster hunts. I've done a few field investigations where I hunted like 2 or 3 monsters in a row just because like one showed up as I was fighting another one, you know, and like those are interesting because you start kind of getting like your meal is wearing off, you're running low on stuff. Like
Right.
those are cool for a different reason, but like, yeah, it's good. I don't know. I like it. Like obviously it's got maybe some frame rate engine issues and difficulty stuff that they can iron out, but I really think that they've done a great job. And it does feel like a return to kind of the kind of prestige class of world. There are things that I'm missing, like the big Palico cooking thing and like player housing stuff, but like all that stuff is maybe in the game and I just haven't gotten to it yet. Because shockingly, they keep introducing new stuff to me. My Palico, like, once you hit high rank, the Palico is like, hey, I had an idea for a hunter's tool. Like, do this mission and we'll try it, and then you get, like, a thing.
Got it.
And, that's post-credits. So it's like, you don't even get to the real gear until you've had credits, So it's an interesting kind of format for a game where you don't actually start playing it until 6 or 8 or whatever hours into it. Obviously you play the whole time, but yeah, Monster Hunter is sick as hell, and we're gonna try to do hunts.
Yeah. Huber literally just got back, so.
He's back?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said he's gonna sleep for 2 days.
Yeah, I bet. Anything else before I disappear again?
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Damiani needs to put some more time in there too. So
Yeah. I mean, long
there will
story
be more
short,
Monster Hunter, one way or another.
I love it. So yeah, and I hope everybody else likes it too.
Nice. Time to swap. All right, Sophia, we got you back now for the rest of the show.
Hello, I'm back.
And you've been playing 2 Point Museum.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Which, Isla's really loved these games in the past. She's talked to us about in the preview version, and you've been playing the final game. Worth noting to all of our viewers and listeners, you play a lot of The Sims.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, not quite the same, but,
Yeah.
adjacent ballpark there.
I play a lot of The Sims. I do love simulation games. Tried all the kind of, X Simulator. We have all the different. Wasn't a big fan of Goat Simulator, but all the other ones. The different. I
That's
like
quite different. Yes.
I like the store simulators and the cooking simulators and that kind of vibe. So obviously, the 2 Point games have been something that I've played. I will say this one, in my opinion, is the best one.
Nice.
It is
For sure.
so polished. It's the thing I talked to Isla about, where it's what 2 Point, especially this one, I think does, unlike a lot of other simulation games. And I might have this feeling too, coming off of something like Civ, which is so hard to understand. There's so much to learn. You kind of just it so seamlessly puts you into it, and you can kind of, even if you don't even understand everything all the time, the game allows you to learn but also succeed in the process.
Right.
Unlike Civ, where it's like, if you don't know this one thing, you could lose in 3 turns. Like, it's kind of the very punishing game over that this doesn't have. I will say the theme of museums is really lovely.
Yeah,
I
it really
wasn't-
does seem like it gives you a lot of room to have variety and different funny ideas.
It's interesting too, because you have all the different types of museums that makes it kind of feel like different games in of itself. There's just so much, and I wasn't a big fan of the campus theme. And obviously, Hospital was always cute, but it's an acquired taste. I would say.
Swim Reaper.
Yeah, it is just.
So for listeners, there's a thing on screen where it's like it's a shark, but its head looks like a Grim Reaper head.
Yeah.
Like a big old cloak going on.
That's another thing with this one, is the humor really hits.
Humor hits. It is so cozy. Everyone loves museums. I mean, and there are different types of museums. There is aquariums, and then there's spooky, scary museums, and then there's fossil museums. Like, there's so many different. I'm not gonna spoil everything in the game, because it's cool to just the mechanic I really like is you have a museum and then you go on expeditions, and that's how you get what you're gonna exhibit, right? And I really like the fact that you could just play it like that, of I'm gonna take the guys that I hire, they're gonna go on an expedition in this little chopper that you see on screen if you're watching, and coming back, here's my fossil, and I'm gonna put it in my nice little whatever. But like as you progress in the game and learn about different, unlock new mechanics and new types of rooms, there are parts where it's like, okay, I could break down this one to gain more knowledge and make my museum more educational. Do you absolutely have to do that? No, because that's the fun of this game, is like you can still succeed. There are so many like little things that give like player freedom in a game where you kind of feel like it could be very hard to do that, where it's like I could make a museum and decide it's just going to be donations. You're not even going to pay to get in. Free museum, just like in real life. Or
Nice.
I could charge you $200 to get into it, which is a lot. But like I did one museum where I was like, I'm charging $150 for this. Okay. But it is just so fun, and it's so beautiful, like zooming in and out. Obviously there's so many cute details.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the
that's the thing that's
exhibits.
crazy about it, is just this
So-
sheer number of weird little objects and different, like, funny museum visitors. And
I mean, that's the fun part of like, okay, now it's a school visiting, so I'm going to zoom in and look at all these kids hanging out. And like, there is just so much happening at once that sometimes I had to like stop myself from doing the very like, I am min-maxing my museum and doing all the tasks, like zoom in, just look at what's going on, everything interacting. It's so pretty. The humor is fun as always. The music is
they
chill.
put a title thing at the end.
Yeah.
It said all these Sonic costumes. Look at the Sonic bundle.
It is just, and like, I mean, the building in this as a Sims
Yeah.
person, as a builder, I love the fact that you can I build a room, but I can just pick it up and plunk it somewhere else. Like, it is
Oh,
so,
the whole room.
The whole room. Like,
Nice.
it's so easy to
For
learn.
stuff like the staff rooms and stuff, not like
Right.
whole exhibits.
Yeah, but like if I make a staff room and like you do your little decors in there, I do at least. I try to make everyone happy. It is just and I love that the tutorial is you're in the game, you're in the campaign, so to speak, and it never feels tutorially, if that makes sense. It feels
Yeah.
very natural, of like the game is helping me as I go. It's giving, I think, like the only thing I would say that I struggled with after playing for like a whole bunch of hours was kind of like, okay, so this museum, okay, my money's going down, something's going wrong. And sometimes I had a hard time figuring out what exactly was going wrong. Like I felt like the game needed to give me a little more like, you have too many janitors, or like you have too many of this thing, or because of this thing, people aren't happy. But because that's the thing, like you can play it very surface level, but there are so many things,
Yeah,
so
lots of
much
really good
management, like
Overlays and stuff.
there's so many things to do. And I really like some of the organization, which makes it really good for a simulation game, is like I can go into a page and like very easily tweak how much my employees are getting paid, and whether or not I want to bump everyone up or just one person or two people. Like the way it looks, the UI and everything is just so clean. It's so easy to figure out stuff, which again, like it feels like such a huge jump from playing Civ and being like, I've played Civ 6. I don't even know how many hours, but I was like, this is so much. It's so daunting. And you're like, I got so many things I got to think about. Here, you can choose to think about all those things. Even on like balanced, you can choose to think about them, or you can just kind of surface level, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to take out a loan. I know I'm bleeding money, but I'll just take out this loan. Everything will be fine. It's punishing in the right way, where it's like this, at the end of the day, is a fun, cozy simulation game where, sure, I can bump up the difficulty and make it super hard for myself, but I could also play in the balanced and have, challenge, but like it's going to be fun at the end of the day. And yeah, it's just like...
Do you ever have situations where you have to find a kid and kick them out after the museum's closed, kind of thing?
No, not really. No. There is criminals that can come in, so
Okay,
you
yeah.
have to like get security guards and stuff like that. And like obviously sometimes you have to click all your stuff to make sure they're maintained. Like when you get into like the botanical parts of stuff, it's like gotta make sure my plants are watered or they'll die. Like, so you have like there comes a point in like 2-point style where I'm like, this is a lot of stuff. I gotta like keep track of everything. So it has enough challenge that even if you've played the games before and like know kind of the basis of it, there's still going to be enough new stuff to look for. And they have like a really cool system where like, yeah, if you break stuff down and like learn more about like an exhibit, you unlock items. And so there's like a very nice system for that. And I mean, yeah, the exploration thing is cool too, because you can kind of customize. Okay, I'm going to explore this one. Do I want to do the safe route? Do I want to do the cheap route? Do I want to make it fast? Like,
Got it.
who am I going to bring to this expedition? Am I going to bring my one expert that's good at this but not at that? Like, it's really, really well thought out, and there are so many layers to it. And like, it was interesting because at first I was like, when I started the expeditions, I was like, oh, this is going to be like, it felt a little more challenging, I would say, than 2 Point Hospital, but it didn't feel daunting. It didn't feel overly crazy. And I mean, it's just a beautiful game. It's just so comfy cozy. And it runs really well. And yeah, it's just kind of like, there's something about choosing museum that was so smart, because it's just such a universal, we all love museums.
Yeah.
If you don't, you haven't been to the right one. Trust me. Everyone loves museums. And so I just felt like this immediate like nostalgia, and I think thought back to like my favorite museums, and like I wanted it to look like this. And yeah, it was just, I also loved the different themes of museums. That's something I didn't really expect.
Yeah,
like,
I'm curious, like, how do you, like, unlock a new one? Like, what do you have available at the beginning?
So when you start the campaign, you start off with like fossils, kind of basic, and then as you level up, the campaign will be like, okay, now you go to this, you make a new museum, and then that's going to be botanical or aquariums or haunted. That was my favorite. I'm not going to spoil that because I loved making that museum too. So it's kind of you can do all that, and then obviously as you unlock stuff, you can go into sandbox and just kind of go nuts, right, and have fun. I like doing it as the campaign, kind of, because the game the tutorial doesn't feel tutorially. It feels like the natural progression of the game.
Right.
And you know enough that when you get to those types of exhibits, like I know what to do, and then you go back to like your old museum, and I'm like, I'm gonna add stuff to this now,
Right.
and make it bigger
that's
and bigger
cool.
and bigger. It's just
managing
very,
multiple is a kind of a newer
Yeah.
or like an interesting way that they do it in this. It's
So just
cool.
that thought that, you know, you can learn something on a new type of museum and then apply it back to something you've already thought
Yeah.
was settled. Yeah.
Like I made my dinosaur museum, and then I made a second museum that was like an aquarium. But then I went back and like hired marine experts and stuff into my old museum and got fish and aquariums in that old museum as well. So it's kind of like I'm building this mega museum
Right.
while I have these other ones, which the game, as like in the map, it will teach you like, now you're going to build this. This is what you need to hire. This is what you need to do, which it was kind of like early on, I opened the sandbox, just kind of play around, and I realized like, I don't know enough about this. Because I'm like, I got all these ghost items. I don't know anything about ghosts. I don't know what's going to happen here. So
yeah, that's something that's kind of interesting with this is like that for the ghosts and stuff, especially, you have to like prepare a certain number of things to make sure you can actually house them, you know?
yeah.
And if you didn't know that, you'd be like, why are these not working? Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like built a ghost museum without having unlocked it at all, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a bad idea. I don't know what's going on. Suddenly there's like a ghost running around like freely in the museum. I'm like, that's a bad idea. That's not how it's supposed to work. But yeah, no, it is just super comfy cozy. It's everything that I would want from a 2 Point and a little more. And it's just if you haven't played any type of game like it too, this would be a great starting point, I would say,
That's
as
nice.
well.
Yeah.
Because it is so easy to get into and kind of understand stuff. And even if it's punishing to some extent, you can still like toggle stuff around and figure it out. It's not like Civilization. It's not going to be like, oh, you let these people invade you. You lost the entire game. It's not going to be
Listen,
like that.
that happened to you one time.
Yeah, and it hurt my feelings because it was my first. Okay, I played my first round of Civ 7. I got like, I was like going into it thinking, I've played Civ 6 so many times, not a big deal at all. And then like I was like, okay, this is a little difficult. I'm gonna bump the difficulty down, just taking it easy, learning everything that's new. And then I'm playing, you know, war related. That's my kind of strategy. But I was like, I'm gonna keep it peaceful for now, and I befriend this one guy, and then he just kills one of my guys that's just out there hanging out. And I was like, wait a minute, we were just friends. And I was like, okay, let's not be friends anymore. And then he just takes on my entire city and I die and I lose the game. Anyways, it was a bad experience. I'm going to give Civ another shot. But I'm very glad here that people won't, destroy your entire museum. But you do have to, watch out.
I guess
for
they
some
could if you let things go without security guards or whatever.
security guards, and also, I had some plants that almost died because I didn't have the right climate. So you have to, get stuff to make sure
Oh, yeah, you
climates are
manage
good.
temperatures and stuff.
Temperatures and, take care of them.
This game it feels so much bigger than all
Yeah.
the other 2 points too, but it doesn't feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's a really nice balance of because there's four or more museum types, one of which we haven't even said, and it's really, I don't know. This game is so good.
Oh yeah, that's the question I wanted. Considering, like you're saying, there's so much room to, have a museum about just about anything, right? What would you want a DLC museum to be? What would it be a request?
Oh my God.
A cowboy museum or weapons museum or.
Oh my God.
Well, the one we haven't said is the obvious other one. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess art museum. I wonder if that's in there.
I was immediately thinking about Animal Crossing and having those paintings and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it would be cool if the ghost
Oh
could
my
haunt
God,
the
2 Point Mall
paintings.
would be-
That would be fun.
Some of the ghosts like paintings.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of opportunities for really fun and different DLCs that are kind of crazy.
A toy museum would be great.
Oh, that would be
Museum?
cool.
Yeah. There's so many opportunities.
Because I actually think about that sometimes, right? Because I really like the Masters of the Universe, He-Man stuff. And,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, and when I went back home, my mom had pulled all this stuff out of the shed. It was like, you need to go through all of this, and figure out what you want to keep and what you want to.
Oh my God! 2 point Museum of Jurassic Technology chat. You are on it right now.
That would be amazing.
Build a museum where no one understands what it is. Perfect.
And so I had pulled a lot of the He-Man stuff. I basically kept pretty much all of it, but I had pulled it out and kind of made sure to what parts there were still and kind of put things back together and that kind of thing, and took a bunch of photos of everything, so I had the photos at least. But I remember they've had these throwback He-Man toys that they've put in the stores the past couple of years, where it's they've made it exactly as close to exact as they can.
Yeah.
As the old ones, and I remember going through Walmart and looking at them and oh, that's cool. I had this and had that, and then I was but I shouldn't buy these. Just seeing it in Walmart is enough, and so it makes me think it's but if you had a toy museum where I could just go through and see all the He-Man toys, including the ones that I never had as a kid in really good condition, because mine are beat the heck up.
Yeah.
Not only did I tear the heads off and put them onto other things and put them back and all that stuff, but then my mom takes care of lots of kids and stuff. She's a Sunday school teacher, and so there's a lot of my toys that I look at them and what happened to this?
Yeah.
There was a museum that went through LA. I think it was traveling, but it was the Museum of Broken Relationships.
Oh my gosh.
And it was artifacts of people's breakups. And that's
God.
kind of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot. A
There's a
music
lot of
museum
themes.
would be cool.
What's that?
A music museum.
Oh, yeah,
Movie museum. There are so many things.
Oh yeah,
you could do.
television and radio, film
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, I mean, the Academy Museum, movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back in Sarasota, there's the Ringling, the circus museums.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Ripley's Believe It or Not
Boat
style
museum.
stuff. Weird.
That's kind of-
Maritime Museum.
Maritime would be cool.
Yeah, remember that easy update.
Ah. Oh, what was that guy's name? Jim Gene? What was his name? Love that guy.
Excellent.
Anyways, it's a great game.
Awesome. March 4th, so that's Tuesday, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Jerry.
loved it.
That's right, Jerry. I was
Jerry.
it's not those. It's Jerry, dude. I hope Jerry's doing well. Man.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Now I got to get into the bad news.
Oh no.
This week, Warner Brothers, man. Warner Brothers got a Warner Brothers. But, yeah, they announced on Tuesday that they are canceling the Wonder Woman game. as well as closing 3 studios. Monolith Productions, that was working on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Player First Games, that was Multiverses. And then W Games San Diego, which they had spun up in 2019 as a mobile studio. And they're saying they're going to, quote, with the quality of too many of our new releases has really missed the mark. And, quote, they're going to focus on building the best games possible with our key franchises, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones.
Which is also really weird because one of the games that did really bad was that Quidditch Harry Potter game.
Yeah, and so that's part of what led to this is they had a really terrible 2024.
Yeah.
They had Suicide Squad, which was like hundreds of millions that they wrote off. They had the Quidditch game, which I don't know why anyone would have expected that to have done super well, but you know. And Multiverses, which seemed like it was doing all right, and then they did that weird thing where they took it offline and they brought it back. And when they brought it back, it was just like people were over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really, really stinks, and I've got a lot of info here to go through, but I want to get some just kind of first thoughts and impressions from everybody else before I get into the weeds.
Yeah. Damian, you go.
It's also funny. The list of things they said I want to focus on when one of the games they canceled is a DC property.
Yeah.
But I mean, you should just interpret it as you just get rid of DC property to say Batman. They're pretty much still only going to greenlight Batman games going forward, which mirrors what's probably going to happen with their film side. I mean, this that obviously is impacting this too. Is that they had a massively terrible year with films too. And with the biggest bomb of all, Joker 2, like massively like underperforming for them.
Yeah.
And so I think that was probably like the one that like they let them get like experimental with that, and they like didn't see the returns they wanted. So like we're like basically at this point, I know that this isn't like the game related, but like there's one last beacon. It's like the James Gunn's Superman, and if that doesn't somehow hit expectations, then like you're just gonna see WB. I mean, it's already in a spiral, and it's probably going to die, and it's probably going to get picked apart at some point in the next decade or so. But, like, you're only going to see, like, the guaranteed heavy hitters will be the only thing they'll greenlight going forward, which will be Batman, more Batman, like probably 3 different versions of Batman.
Mortal Kombat.
But like, here's the funny thing. Mortal Kombat's, like, you think it is, but like it also, might be in trouble too. We'll have to see.
It's
the other one is
the thing with Mortal Kombat. I think Damiani, I think it does super, super well, but I also know that it's very, very expensive. So that's the trick with them is to keep that balance. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna get at because like we're saying, there's successful stuff like TV show wise. Like you'd expect to make cuts across the board and including into games at some point too, even for the successful stuff. House of Dragon Season 2, they cut episodes. They're cutting episodes from The Last of Us Season 2. They're probably, like, anything that you think is successful, because people are screaming, like, Harry Potter, like, they could do that. Like, they probably won't even give it, like, the budget it wants, like, because they are just, this person, the executives there are the wrong people right now to have in charge. And so there's, like, no writing the course. The only thing that will ever get the budget with like maybe no strings attached is like Batman, and it's like this is stupid. Like this is literally like the dumbest plan of action you can do, and they're stifling everyone, and it stinks because it's going to trickle down the games. We're going to see like their gaming department, like who knows if it even exists, might just go the way of like Lucas Games, just be like licensing out stuff, or Disney licensing out stuff that they don't even like exist as a developer anymore with studios in house. And that's going to be a real shame. And honestly, they have such strong IPs. It's just that they have executives getting in the way and screwing things up. And they had very creative people, both in the game department and their other departments. I mean, they kind of chased Christopher Nolan away for film. It's like, I don't know what, like, what other, like, red flags do people need to see that, like, those the
what
people
they
at the
did
top
with the
there running,
animation, right? The Acme movie, right?
they're this running, like there needs to be a changing of the guard.
It is so weird, and like maybe Schreier or one of the Kind of Funny people said this on their thing, but like it's really bizarre to have, and it's not exclusive to Warner Brothers, but it seems most pronounced at Warner Brothers perhaps, where it's like you have executives in charge of creative companies that hate creative works, that like don't like art or movies or shows or games, and it's just like, why are you in this field at all? Like, what are you doing? Like, I try to make money, but it's like, don't you realize that that's how your company makes money? Is a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, well, and then specifically getting into like with Monolith, you know, like they've been around for 30 years, right? And you look at like their back catalog of all the stuff they made before Warner Brothers, you know, like Fear and No One Lives Forever and Condemned, you know, a lot of Huber favorites. Huber was mourning this from afar this week. We saw his tweets coming through. And then, you know, they got Shadow of Mordor and the Nemesis system, and that was just crazy creative idea.
Yep.
And so much that Warner Brothers patented it. So nobody else can do this. Don't do this. You can't copy us.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, to see them go from all of that to just like kind of like in this mire of they can't put a game out because of the leadership above them.
Well, what was crazy was that I think it was in 2021 at post the Middle-earth Games where most of the leadership left.
Yeah.
And so you're starting Wonder Woman, having to rebuild an entire structure of leadership.
Yeah, so this is what
Like
some of the
crazy.
stuff Jason Schreier was talking about on Kind of Funny. So
Yeah.
basically, what had happened, and he was describing this was under the previous Games head, David Haddad, and like so like a lot of the stuff that we're seeing is actually from the old guard, like problems that like over like a decade or more that are basically just fundamentally have mismanaged these studios. Because what Schreier is essentially saying is that Haddad was sort of like giving like sort of the Hollywood no.
Yeah.
Is what he described it. Whereas like they'll listen to you and but they're not actually interested. And so
Would love to work with this. This is going to be great.
yeah, so Monolith was working on this new IP, brand new idea, and they had that going for like years, like 3 or 4 years, something like that. And there was this part of them where like, we don't know if Warner Brothers is gonna like this, but they're not telling us no, so we're gonna just keep going.
Yeah.
And they would have these meetings with leadership in Burbank, and then they would be like, did anything actually come out of this?
Yeah.
Did anyone make a decision out of this? Did we just sit in a room and talk and nothing happened? Essentially, kind of those kind of meetings, right? The kind of meetings that make everybody hate meetings. And then eventually, like him being reluctant to say no, eventually became, no, we have to cut this game.
Yeah.
And that when they cut that game is when they lost that studio leadership. And they've similarly lost the leadership at Rocksteady. They've similarly lost the WB Montreal. Like all of these studios have just been like trying to go now without their visionaries. And with Wonder Woman, another thing that apparently happened is when they were starting up the Wonder Woman game, they had decided to keep using their in-house engine because they wanted to do this stuff with Nemesis system. And actually, like a lot of the people that built that left with the leaders.
Of course.
So they don't have the real tech knowledge to like pull this off to their best of ability. And those guys are now Cliffhanger Games. They're
Right.
making the Black Panther game with EA. And essentially, like you were saying, they had to not only like start working on this Wonder Woman game, but they had to like rebuild their studio and figure out who was going to be in charge and all of this stuff at the same time.
While being creative.
While being creative. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like actually like some of these ideas, like I think I heard a thing of like the previous iteration of Wonder Woman that was going to be like they're going to use the Nemesis system, but instead of creating enemies, you were creating allies.
So cool.
And like that's a neat idea, and like I wonder like what could that have played out like, right?
Yeah. Would have fit the character too.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, because of the shakeups and the WB and the continuous people saying not telling them no on things, then they got to like end of 2023, 2024, and they're like, we got to reboot this, and you just got to make a standard like action adventure, whatever. Just make something easy, right? And so now on paper, because nobody gave them the right direction, now there's a studio that hasn't put out a game in 8 years.
Yeah.
And they just look like an easy cut.
It's just it's so frustrating. It's also like it's on the one hand you have creatives who want to be creative, and then like in this case you have, well, who are we going to show to get greenlit any of these ideas? Question mark. Who knows how that went down and like in the step-by-step process of making any game. And then you have people on the top who don't understand how games are made, it feels like, where it's just like, oh, this is end of the line, like rest in peace to all of this. Like, and the idea that you can just do something formulaic and it like 100% will sell is such a weird idea to me. Like it almost feels, in a way it does feel very Hollywoody. It feels like how a like a Blomberg horror will rarely fail because it is a formulaic horror. Oh yeah, Blumhouse. Sorry. It will rarely fail because it is a formulaic horror, but they work. They're fun.
Right.
Everyone goes to see them. You spend a lower amount of money on it, and then
That's what it'll take 6 years to make.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
You
but
can't trade trace like that.
Sometimes I'm like, is this the idea they have of games where it's like, we'll spend this little, we'll do a formulaic game, whatever that means. It's not a thing. Like, I don't know what formulaic in what genre. Like, there are so many layers to that idea, and then it's just gonna sell. I don't know. Like, it's just so, I don't know. It makes me sad. Like, it's just constant layoffs and constant.
But it's the thing too, though. Like I brought this up this week with Suicide Squad when I was talking about this on Twitter or Blue Sky or something. But it's like Suicide Squad is like it doesn't make any sense to me on a conceptual level.
Yeah.
Because it's like even taking away like the live service shooter stuff that like that team isn't very well versed in.
Yeah.
You still have this idea that you're going to play as these C-tier characters that the broader audience has no idea who they are.
Yeah.
And you're going to actually kill their favorite childhood superheroes.
It's crazy.
It's not just a twist. They're not going to work their way out of it until like a year later in DLC. You're going to literally like be the person that kills them and watch this go down. And I'm like, okay, you could maybe do that on like a low scope, like smaller scale budget. You don't have enough of an audience to be like, we're going to do hours of mocap and like, you know, like meticulously put the scratches in on the buttons of their leather jacket and all of this stuff. Like, it's just like,
I mean, Suicide Squad.
And the idea, like, they don't go together.
Warner Brothers loves Suicide Squad. Just like in movies also, just like as
But
a
I think
whole.
that's also part of the problem is like, maybe at some point along the line, like one of these Suicide Squad things is like, okay, like the concept of Suicide Squad, there's, you know, not enough people have been exposed to it.
Yeah.
This is a neat little twist or whatever. You could do one of these movies and cool.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily enough to like build a franchise on, and then also to like, oh, these are going to be separate like versions of the same story in a way, you know?
That's what's always weird to me too about all these is like, it's not like it's two different companies that have the rights. Like sometimes happens where it's like, oh, this company owns the game rights and this company owns the movie rights. So we're gonna make our Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, but it's gonna be different because we don't own the rights to that version of it, you know. But like, these are all the same companies owning the same things. Like you could make it like have some continuity to the movies so that people, at least fans of them, like even the second Suicide Squad movie, would have something to grab onto, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but
Shouldn't
then trying
they?
to get those timelines to sync
No,
up.
yeah,
Yes.
hard. But I mean, like, just do it, set it after the second movie or whatever. and you're fine.
Or like, yeah, like if you introduce, you know, like for instance, like if you had, you know, Bane in the Batman movie, and then like you go off and
Right.
you follow Bane into some crazy story or something like that.
Make it like a
Yeah.
tangentially related Gaiden, like side story.
It is crazy, the library of cool characters they're sitting on.
Right.
And like all the like possibilities of mashups and call it multiverse, like we're gonna do our own whatever, and you're like, this is it. these are the ones. Like I get it, but I also don't get it. And I don't know. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
It's
And like
also-
I love Batman, but like I don't want to only see Batman forever. Like let's
Well, that's
yeah.
what really sucks is because I've also been seeing like a lot of the comments from the developers that have been working on this game, and like it's not just the heartbreak of like losing the job.
Yeah.
It's the heartbreak of like no, they actually like really really love Wonder Woman and really wanted to like get her story out there and like making her like
Yeah.
more meaningful and relevant again, like she was
Yeah.
for us when we were growing up, right?
Yeah.
And they thought that they had something really special. Jesper Kyd was doing the music for that game. Like he did the Assassin's Creed 2 theme. He
Cool.
did Dark Tide, which we loved. Like even if you don't like
Yeah.
that game, like that music is freaking sick.
The game's a lot cooler now too.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah. So it sounds like despite the troubles it was having, like they had something there
Yeah.
that would have been worthwhile if somebody had just like been there to like get them home, to like drive that thing to the finish line.
Yeah. I just always feel sad when it's like the idea of hundreds of hours of work and it's just we never get to see it.
Oh.
We never get to experience
Yeah.
it. It's just devastating. It really is.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, because it's like you could potentially see something that leaks, but
Yeah.
it's a prototype, right? It's
Yeah.
an unfinished thing, the textures aren't going to be there, or half the level's going to be missing, or it's like, yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. I think Wonder Woman would have shook things up a bit. It would have been nice, I think. And I'm not a huge Wonder Woman fan, but I'm like, you know what? It's nice to see a little change in the pace. We've seen Batman. I love Batman. I don't know.
Yeah, we've got a million versions of Batman's
gonna be
story where you
all
know so many of
Batman.
the beats by heart, right?
Just Batman and Joker over and over again. Oh my god. But yeah, it's a sad story. It sucks.
Yeah.
But
Any thoughts, Daliani? I know you said a lot already, but
I mean, yeah, I would have liked to have seen this game. I mean, I think I read something that said like one of the rumors was when they were restarting development or the troubles they ran into, they were actually going to ditch the Nemesis system because
that's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah, but like people want the Nemesis system again, and it's like, as you said, it's now locked away in a vault. it's like the only hope. I don't know. Like, yeah, if WB Games goes under and they get sold, maybe then another owner could revive it and make it into something else. But
I've seen a lot of people say though that like you could make a system that's like it, that doesn't violate the patent. Like it's such a specific thing that like there's lots of room to be creative and do something that's
Yeah.
inspired by the Nemesis system. If somebody really wants to go at it, yeah.
yeah, I think that might be the more realistic course of action. But yeah, it's just like things like this where those of unique things that you want to see in Fallout games, and then it was so good. There's a game in development that's using it, and just like that, not only is the game not coming out, it's like there's potentially you might never see a game use that again. And it's like how I don't know. It's just very fickle how that's handled, and I wish there was like a with the patent, how they handle patents. I think kind of like stinks because like you can lock something away like that, but you gotta like, maybe as you said, get creative to find a way around it so that you could like spiritually bring it back in another game and in another franchise. But also, yeah, even just keeping more Batman will not work forever either. I just said like it's even in their own dumb movie. Was it Dark Knight? Like I think Joker, like Heath Ledger's Joker's like, well, you and I are destined to do this forever. It's like they're even making fun of it. Like, yeah, like this is what everyone wants, but can you really keep doing this forever? It's like eventually you'll just be like, oh god. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised though, because they could do. There's a lot of different Batmans I haven't done yet, and I think one of the things they might. I mean, actually, I don't know if they would do this, like Batman Beyond.
Yeah,
it's like
people keep bringing that up,
yeah, like bringing Batman Beyond, like, but they might be like, nah, that's too risky. Like, what? Like, they probably just want like traditional looking Batman. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, so I don't know. This situation sucks. I feel incredible, pain and empathy for the people who've had to like suffer through losing their jobs and suffer through losing all their work for this, and it's just a shame that is continuing this trend that we've been seeing for like years now, where projects get canceled, and again, it doesn't matter. It could have been a success, and they could have been like buy to these studios. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what you can like do at this point, other than maybe look for a job in a different industry.
So dark but true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people out there looking for work. So keep an eye out on those boards and all of that. If you got something for, all of those different roles out there, narrative roles and designers and artists and everything. We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. Also, if you want to sponsor this podcast, if you want to get your name right here in this spot, get Isla to talk about your product or service for 60 to 90 seconds.
I always go over.
Yeah, well, I think they're designed to go over one way or
I
another.
think so. And I don't like doing make goods. I aim to go over because I don't want to do a make good.
Right. But yeah, get a hold of us if you want to sponsor this show. You can email us at info@easyallies.com, or however you want to get a hold of us. You can send us a DM on Patreon or social or whatever. Get in touch, and we will get you all the details. Okay, it is time for the January sales report,
Yay.
Hey.
which honestly is a bit of a low light. This is going to be a quick one, I think.
Classic January being a low light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, usually there's a lot of fun things to, like, pick apart in these, and it's like this month, and I'm like, it's kind of there.
That's what blood thinks.
Kind of mild.
Ooh, Damiani's up to something.
There are a couple of interesting things that popped in there for sure. But spending on, and again, this is from Matt Piscatella of Circana, everything in U.S. rankings in U.S. dollar sales. Spending on video games, hardware, and accessories fell 15% compared to last January. $4.5 billion for the month. Hardware spending, in particular, dropped 45%. Lowest January total for video game hardware spending since January 2020. There were double-digit declines compared to a year ago on all major console platforms. PS5 hardware spending dropped by 38% year on year. Xbox declined 50%. Switch declined 53%. But Switch still just outsold the Xbox in terms of units sold.
Nice.
And then we get into our top 20. We have one new entry, which is not 100% new. And interestingly enough, another one that's not considered new, but had a pretty big release. So I think Damiani was alluding to one of those.
Yeah. Well, then I'm guessing the one that is quote unquote actually new is probably Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country Returns.
I get what you
Nice.
mean, because it's a remaster of a
Yeah. So that popped in at 8th place. That was our only actual new
Wow.
entry for January.
It's a good one.
Power of Donkey Kong.
But the other one is very interesting and very positive.
Yeah, let's do it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I already know this one.
Yeah.
I went a headline it's been like when this dropped, there were like people already reporting on it, and then I think also Matt Piscatella messaged out that it was was very good. Like the data that he saw was very good for it, as well as like what its activity was. So and Square Enix tweeted out that like it was, they're very happy with it. So this is, it came in at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, PC release, number 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was the combo pack that's somewhere else in the top 20
it's at
somewhere
16.
as well. Yeah, that has remake and rebirth. And so it's a very good sign that should any of their big AAA Final Fantasy, like AAA IPs, have a simultaneous worldwide release on all platforms, maybe things aren't as grim as people were making them out to be.
Yeah.
So Rebirth PC release, very good sign. And I think I'll be curious to see if it can hold on for one more month and stay in the top 20, that, and show its like staying power. That would be kind of like nice. But yeah, like whatever their next big one, whichever comes first, where it's Kingdom Hearts 4, Dragon Quest 12, which is probably gonna be Kingdom Hearts 4. No, Remake Part 3 or Kingdom Hearts 4, the only ones that are probably in realistic contention. Whichever one of them come out first, it's 100% coming out on PC and like Epic and Steam, not just like Epic locked like it's been in the past. And so I think Part 3, like unless it's going out against like a juggernaut that month, should easily claim like number 1 spot. Like I will be shocked if Part 3 doesn't take number 1 for like that month, and like eclipses like the sales, like because it's all be combined into like that 1 month instead of like the different
right.
Here was the PS5 release last year, and then here's this one. It's not really you can't even take the combined sales of those and really say it's the same, because like as positive as this would have been even bigger easily if it had come out last year at the same time on PC as well. So that's going to be like a really good sign, and I think like could breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief if you were like worried about like maybe Square Enix like thinking that the remake trilogy was like not doing as well. But like again, even without like that back and forth arguing over whether or not there was like some concerns about it, it was always meant to be like an evergreen project, and it's going to keep selling for like a decade.
Yeah,
they're going to keep doing special editions. Like when Part 3 comes out, they did this Rebirth twin pack already. There's going to be a complete edition, and then who knows if they go even beyond that with something like instead of selling them like separately piecemeal, they maybe do an actual truly combined version. Because they've done that with Kingdom Hearts with 1.5 plus 2.5. They did like even 1.5 and 2.5 standalone had things bundled into them, and then they bundled. They have done stuff like that. I fully expect them to do something like that with the remake trilogy. And honestly, the only thing I can say is I really wish they would have adopted this a little bit sooner, in time for like Final Fantasy 16. I think 16 would have done so much better if it was a simultaneous release. And same with like Remake. The ultimate thing that suffered here, in my opinion, is Remake should have been one of the biggest landmark releases, and because it was like platform exclusive, it was still a big deal, but like it wasn't nearly as big as I think people for like 2 decades were making it out to be. With like every time we kept saying like, oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be one of the biggest things they could ever do, when Square Enix needs to hit the big red panic button if they're in trouble. And it's like if they really were in dire straits and that was it, that was not nearly enough. I was like, oh, that was a little like concerning. I was like, ooh, yee. But this, for someone like me, this is like, yes, they just think, happy that they're following this format, because I enjoy this franchise. I want it to keep going, and not like them not to take the wrong lessons. It feels like they're learning the right lessons a little bit, at least in terms of their release strategy, and that is very positive to see.
Nice. One other one that's really I found interesting, jumped back on the list, coming into 20th place from 82nd, It Takes Two.
Oh,
pre-split fix.
yeah.
Yeah, it got a bump.
Wow, that's a big bump too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that's
Could
really
that be
nice.
Game Awards bump maybe, or like holiday bump?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think probably the Game Awards probably helped it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm curious if there was something else in there, like a sale or something ahead of Split Fiction's launch, but
Yeah.
definitely very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Anything else? This is like before I go down the whole list. This is definitely our all stars that we've been seeing for the
Yeah.
past year.
I feel like we're about to get 2024 Redux here.
Yeah, 20th we got It Takes Two. 19th is UFC 5. 18th. Oh, this popped back up too. The Crew Motorfest.
Oh,
Pretty nice.
okay.
The Crew keeps doing numbers. I'll tell you. They have a long tail on that game. That series actually, every one of them. 17 Mario Kart 8.
Classic.
16 is that twin pack that we just talked about. 15th is Elden Ring.
Okay.
Oh, we got to start wondering when Elden Ring drops off. It's getting close to that tail end.
14th Mario Party Jamboree. 13th Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. 12th Astrobot, still up in there. Pretty
Wow.
pretty good for a platformer.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. 11th Helldivers 2. 10th Sonic Generations.
Wait. Sonic not.
I
that's
think that's one where they bundled it into the initial or the
Oh.
original release.
Okay.
Even though it's the new version, it still counts towards.
Sorry.
just-
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they changed the name. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as Surikana is concerned, Sonic X Shadow Generations is just a variation of Sonic Generations.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, there's not that many sales of the old game in there, so.
Yeah.
9th is Hogwarts. 8th is Donkey Kong. 7th is College Football. 6th, Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
So that's still doing well. 5th is Minecraft. 4th is EA Sports FC 25. 3rd is Rebirth. 2nd is Madden. And, of course, number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Nice.
And that is January.
Nice.
Love Call of Duty.
Oh, now I get to talk about some demos,
Ooh.
about some games. We
Did you
got
play?
Shotgun Cop Man
What?
Great name.
from the makers of My Friend Pedro and published by
Okay.
Devolver. So you are Shotgun Cop Man who goes into hell to arrest Satan. like,
Love this.
and this is just like,
Oh, yeah. Look at this.
yeah, it's a fun little simple game. You cannot jump.
Oh, you shoot.
I get that. Yeah, use the shotgun.
You use the shotgun to jump.
Love.
And so you have your shotgun in one hand, and that only has like 3 blasts. And then you've got other weapons. You start with just a basic pistol, but you can pick up other weapons as you go, and that you've got more ammo with. But yeah, it's about just kind of get through these quick little levels, and yeah, you've got these bonus objectives at the end, whether you kill all the enemies, whether you get through in a fast time, and whether you got through without any hits.
Cool.
And there's some other fun little things in there, like, yeah, some of these levels here, like, this is, like, not actually, like, going through a stage so much as, like, you're just locked in a room and you have to kill all the guys and survive. One thing that's interesting is, like, when you do take a hit, your heart pops out.
Oh,
And so you have to, like, go and grab your heart.
cool.
And then so you can take as many hits as possible, but if you take any hits when your heart's out of your chest, then that's it.
Gotcha,
You're
okay.
dead. So they're kind of like 1-2 punch kind of thing. And then sometimes you'll find other weapons just like along the way in stages. Other times you'll find them from like defeating an enemy. But like there's like kind of like a like sort of semi-auto kind of pistol. And there was like more like submachine gun, and then the one that was like I thought and like you can use the pistol for like smaller hops when you need to
my
get through stuff like this. Like
Wow.
how do I get through here?
Cool.
And then but yeah, I got another weapon, and it was like, wait, this is a shotgun? It's like I have a shotgun and a shotgun.
Nice.
But it was still different. Like it has a longer range because the main shotgun that you use to jump and stuff, it's very, very short range.
Right.
Like good wide blast and gives you the momentum, but you've got to be right up next to an enemy to use it. Whereas the other shotgun, like you could like shoot somebody from almost across the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just about like, sort of like this challenge, like figuring out the physics and the momentum and avoiding like this buzz saws all over the place. The pistol, when you're shooting that in the air, you kind of like hover.
Cool.
So that's part of it too. Is like, okay, use your shots to hover in the air, and kind of keep yourself afloat. And then this is a boss here.
It's like a platformer while playing Farah from Overwatch. 'Cause you could also use her to like blast yourself away from like a wall.
Yeah,
Classic, rocket jump.
Yeah, like a rocket jump.
basically,
Yeah.
Judging by the name of this, I expected it to be like goofy, which it has that tone, but this actually looks like kind of awesome.
I want to see this on the Games Done Quick stage.
Yeah, speed run this.
Oh yeah. It's very much about the speed runs, and I imagine too that like some of your runs you're gonna have the like go for one objective over the other, right? Because it's like
Sure.
if you're gonna speed run, like I don't need to kill everybody, just get me to the end.
Yeah, do you have to kill everybody? Or
No,
is
that's just
okay.
like one. Like there are certain places where they lock you out of the exit until you do.
Yeah.
But most of the regular stages is just about getting to the exit.
This is very cool.
Yeah.
I love the art style of it too.
Yeah, very simple silhouettes and the other thing is that you can if you get up next to an enemy, you can hit the shoulder button to grab them and then toss them.
Fun.
And so that's pretty nice too to like toss one guy at another guy.
I like
yeah.
the haphazard mixture of 3D and 2D elements too.
Yeah,
Like
some of the stuff in the
being
background.
3D. Yeah, it's fun. And then when it zooms in on you, you're like, it's like Ren and Stimpy almost. Like obviously still low poly, but high detail close-ups.
Yeah, well, I think what's funny to me too is that like Shotgun Cop Man and Satan both kind of have the same face.
Yeah, like Hot
Yeah.
Dog Man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they just altered Satan a little bit, but it's basically the same face model. But yeah, so that's that.
Cool. Very
And then let me see if I can find my notes because it is crazy to try to describe Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3, which is from Zalavier Nelson's team, Strange Scaffold.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Stop.
They also put out a demo for that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactics
Yeah.
game.
Like,
Yeah,
slow
do
down.
that. Yeah.
We know you can make great games. You've proved it. Just slow down.
So this is simultaneously like a match 3 game and a narrative like point and click adventure and like a turn-based combat game.
What?
And like with
shit,
Metroidvania elements.
Holy shit.
Crazy. This
Yeah.
is so cool.
So like you come up to these situations and you have like this dialogue trees, right? And then you like pick choices and make different decisions about like what you're gonna do or where you're gonna go on the mansion and that kind of thing. And then you come up and it's like, is that what I think it is? It's a raptor. And then you fight the raptor in a match 3 game. And so like see here like if you match up 3 knives, then you do damage just by matching the knives. And then of course like any match 3 game, things fall and you get all the combos and things like that.
If she wins, does your character say "clever girl"? Because
I don't think so at this point. But
she would be a clever girl.
But
though.
one of the things I will say about this demo, I encourage everyone to play this demo because this is one of those demos where it is very clearly designed to be this demo, and it is not you're not just repeating what's going to be in the final game.
So it's not like
fun.
Monster Hunter.
Right? Yeah, like it has its own little story and stuff going on,
Yeah.
which gets very meta in ways that I don't want to spoil.
Ooh, cool.
But I'm also not sure whether any of that will be part of the final game at
I
all.
love that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more demos that like play with their own format. More
Yeah.
trailers that just outright lie.
Yeah.
Like scenes that aren't in the movies, things that aren't in the games. Like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, and so this one you're trying to sneak past a brontosaurus that's in the hallway.
Can't even see his head in the picture. That's awesome.
Right, like you just try to get past it. And
Yeah.
so like what you see, so like yeah, some of them are like this where yeah, you're trying to like fill a progress bar rather than kill the enemy.
Right.
And so the different symbols that you have, the different types of gems. So like you've got the blue gems and the green gems and the red gems. Some of them you have the dinosaur skulls.
Yeah.
Those you need a certain number of them to use one of your skills.
Okay.
So like sometimes there'll be like a shoulder check kind of thing. Other times there's like a healing one that takes red gems.
Cool.
And so you're like trying to match up the right gems in order to use a skill.
Okay.
And then yeah, sometimes you're trying to defeat an enemy. Sometimes you're trying to make progress. There was one I did with like a painting where like you're trying to match up the paintbrushes. And so if
Oh.
you matched up the paintbrushes, then that made progress to like uncovering the painting or whatever. But if you matched up the red gems, matching red gems actually like removed progress, gave you negative progress. So you're trying to match one without matching the other and like paying attention there. And then yeah, there's also a shop and inventory. So it's like you find like chainsaws and hunting rifles. So like a hunting rifle like basically just gives you like free damage on an enemy. So
Cool.
you use the hunting rifle instead of doing your matches. Some of your skills will like eat a turn, like the first aid. Like if you use that to heal yourself, then you don't get to match 3. Then it goes to the opponent's turn. But others you can use before you do the match 3. So kind of like figuring out like how many things you want to stack up there.
This is cool.
And yeah, this is a zombie T-Rex now that you're fighting.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very good.
And they work off of the same mechanics. See, so it's like the zombie T-Rex needed 9 knives
Right.
before it could actually bite you. And so you're
Cool.
kind of like playing against time there. Yeah, this is the one with the painting, the suspicious painting.
So cool.
But yeah, where it starts getting, again, I don't want to like get into spoilers of the demo, but like you get into a point where to complete the demo, you kind of have to explore more of the mansion, and you have to like go through these different like alternate paths and stuff. And so there's one point that Zolivir actually like tweeted a video out about this. There's like a book that comes out of a rift,
Okay.
and I think it's like a book that like teaches you about unlocking. But you have like the 3 choices you have are you can read the book, or you can investigate the rift and be like, what the heck is this thing? Or you can eat the book. And it's just like, what do you mean I could eat the book that's supposed to teach me about unlocking?
I love that, honestly.
And this is where he's talking about like, I guess this is how the Metroidvania stuff plays in, because
Oh, okay.
if you eat the book,
Yeah.
then you get progress to a skill called like feral.
Okay.
And so like doing like these completely unhinged things will fill a progress bar, and then you'll have this skill that you only get by doing these completely
Unhinged.
ridiculous things with these choices.
I am very excited about that. I love doing unhinged things in games. This will be great.
Or you could just learn how to unlock the door and find other places to learn more about unlocking the door and go
But
through the
like eating a book sounds pretty fun.
MXA Ghost in chat says, well, it is food for thought.
Oh,
This is great.
very
Very fun.
nice.
That is amazing.
Very nice.
Yes.
Also, they were saying T-Virex, which is
Oh
good.
my god.
Nice.
Very good.
This game seems hilarious,
It
and I
does.
want
Yeah.
to play it.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. It's just like the writing and things that they play around with.
I like that this raptor looks
good.
kind of sexy too. It's a sexy raptor right there. Wow. Okay. All right.
But
This looks fun.
Check it out. Play that demo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it'll be up. I think a lot of the Next Fest stuff is up until like early next week. But sometimes they get extended too.
Yeah.
Like if a demo does really well, it's like keep it up.
Yeah.
Let people
Hell
keep
yeah.
playing it. Yeah.
So cool.
Also this week, play this one, Blades of Fire. This was just announced this morning. coming from Mercury Steam, who did Castlevania Lords of Shadow as well as Metroid Dread. Metroid, what is it? Metroid, the Samus Returns.
Samus Returns.
Yeah, Metroid 2 remake. This gives me very, like, the art style looks a lot like Lords of Shadow to me. But there's a crazy premise where, like, the evil witch queen or whatever has, like, turned all of the steel to stone, and, like, you're, like, the last person that knows how to work with steel or something like that.
Whoa.
But they're talking about this kind of crazy weapon forging system where you can, like, combine all kinds of alloys and hilts and runes and pummeling edges to, like, craft different weapons.
You got like a Mjolnir hammer.
Yeah.
So cool.
And then obviously, like, you need different types of things to, like, fight against different types of monsters and stuff like that. So I'm interested. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I think from this, I want some more frames.
Yes, I was just thinking the same
The
thing.
gameplay shots are like, ooh, this looks a little on the rough side. So hopefully that is just where the current build is at, or something that they can iron out, so to speak.
Yeah.
But this is coming pretty soon. This is coming May.
I also like you said iron out. Because
yeah.
we're talking about, yeah.
And
Whoa.
PS5, Xbox, and Damiani, as we were just talking about, the Epic Games Store.
Ooh.
Yeah, it sounds like they got a deal with Epic, and it's not coming to Steam right away. So,
Bummer.
yeah.
Bummer.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Right.
Forge your legend. All right.
May 22nd.
That's not far away.
Oh, that's why I wrote May 2022 on my notes. I'm like, why does that say that? May 22nd. Okay, now we have to get Don. Don has to come out here for this. I need Don's thoughts on Terminator 2D.
Crazy.
No
Terminator
fate.
2D.
Out of nowhere,
Yeah.
side-scrolling, pixel art, recreation of Terminator 2. Just, yeah.
What's crazy is I haven't seen any of the
This is
Terminator.
amazing.
I haven't seen the movies.
This is Bitmap Bureau, makers of Final Vendetta and Xenocrisis.
Oh, Final Vendetta is sick as hell.
This looks
Yeah.
so good.
Final
Beautiful.
Final
Yeah,
Vendetta is
wow.
really good.
Oh man.
Yeah, the pixel art on this is absolute top notch. Now look at this. This might be the most accurate movie game ever made ever, I think. I mean, as you watch this trailer, it's like the entire movie is in this look at this. Like every single scene of the movie is it's like beat for beat the whole scenes too. It's like, man, just unbelievable vibes. The art is unbelievable. I mean, so cool.
And you get a lot of the future stuff in there. You get Naked Arnold.
Beat 'em up.
Yeah, here you get a little beat 'em up. This stuff looks fun in there. That looks
Yo.
like a little bit of Hunt Down esque.
that's-
Some of the
wait,
shooting stuff.
Where's some of this?
Yeah, some of the you got a little you got that little dash, that little low dash. That looks straight out of Contra 3 Alien Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many nods in this. Look at that.
Wow.
So freaking good. Why is this not out today, right now?
Wait, that's the
Release
continue
it.
screen.
So
That's
good. You know you
amazing.
got to let that go down, man. You got to let that go down and start from the
Oh,
beginning. It's too
that looks so
satisfying to
good.
watch it sink.
That looks so good.
Yeah,
That
it
looks
looks
really
brilliant.
good.
Looks fun too.
Yeah, September 5th.
Can't wait.
It's not very often that we get a game, like, announced out of nowhere and, like, here's the release date. Yeah.
Love that.
PSVR 2 got a price drop going from $550 to $400.
Wow.
I don't know how much of a difference that'll make because it's still pretty pricey
Yeah, I was going to say.
and not a ton of games on PlayStation VR 2, but it's good to see. And they put this in the blog post as well. With a recent update to PSVR 2, it now supports low latency hand tracking
Oh.
with the PSVR 2 cameras. So, yeah, you can do hand tracking without using the controllers.
Very nice.
Which I've been playing, we talked about last week, I've been playing Skydance's Behemoth, and I like that game. But I definitely feel at times where, like, man, like, these button arrangement is like a little small for my hands. Like I need to be like holding this, but then I need to push this button, and like trying to do them both at the same time is
Yeah.
difficult.
Hand tracking can be really cool when done
Yeah.
right. Like that, I played like a Maestro game where you like
Maestro's
conduct-
so
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
very
Exactly.
fun, and I like you can just throw stuff at people. It's very fun. It's silly, but yeah.
Yeah,
When done
obviously a lot of games you need buttons to do certain things.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can just use your hands, it's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
This one popped in my inbox this week, and Huber's digging it too. From XCOM creator Julianne Gollop comes Chipping Claws versus the Brainoids, a co-op action strategy game. And you can play it solo, you can play it split screen, you can play it online, build bases, spawn minions, and then go smash stuff.
Cute.
Gives me like kind of like a mix of like Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
and like Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
And like Astroneer?
Yeah, I see that. I see that. But it looks good. Looks fast. It looks clean.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like, you know, we were struggling with that Orcs Must Die game the other week, right? Like I feel like this might be like in that kind of vein of things, but like a little bit easier to navigate.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Look at these weirdos.
Yeah. It looks so cozy.
Brainoids.
Oh yeah, and there's a demo out for that too.
I'm loving the fact that we're getting so many releases of games that are just cute and quirky.
Yeah.
That's the theme here. Just cute little guys doing cute stuff.
After the success of Silent Hill 2,
Not cute stuff, speaking of.
Bloober and Konami have signed a deal for a new game based on a Konami IP.
Very cool.
Woo!
What do you want?
I want them to do Silent Hill 1 and 3 combined.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. So stick with Silent Hill. Okay, Damiani.
Bomberman.
Oh no,
Wow.
Bomber.
I mean, that'd be pretty tight.
You got any?
I would agree with Silent Hill. I
Yeah.
love Silent Hill.
Keep it
I love
Silent Hill.
watching Isla play Silent Hill. I
Yeah.
love watching people. I am couch co-op. I will sit next to you and watch you play a scary game. That's like one of my favorite things to do. So definitely Silent Hill.
She takes my fear away.
I do.
It has been a minute since we've seen a Castlevania.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? No?
Are they a fit for that? I don't know.
Yeah.
They did an
That
amazing job with Silent Hill 2,
feel
and I
like-
loved it. But it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like the fit.
I don't want a 3D Castlevania.
No.
They need to make a brand new, good, revival. They've
Yeah.
been putting out all these collections. They've been great, but like let's keep it simple, nail that, and then maybe get a little bit more ambitious.
Yeah.
If we're getting a
Whatever.
3D Castlevania, give it to FromSoft.
Oh,
Pretty
wow.
much.
if
It's
we're
like-
getting a 2D one, give it to Yacht Club or somebody.
Yeah, Yacht Club would be great.
so many. What else do they have?
Yeah, I'm trying to look at like what their like whole lineup has
Oh.
been. Because like I wouldn't think that they would do Metal Gear, right?
Yeah, they won't let.
Yeah.
No, there's no,
No,
way.
that would be.
I don't think they'll let them touch that. Maybe. I mean,
Dance Dance Revolution.
DDR.
DDR from Bluebird Team,
And I don't think like 3D Contra is gonna be
right?
Yeah.
a thing. So I'd honestly say it's probably obvious it's another Silent Hill.
It's just
I would
interesting
love
that they would say that they signed a deal, but they wouldn't say
Like,
what
they
it
want
is.
People to guess. They like that.
Yeah.
Frogger.
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 I say more Silent Hill. I'd love the latest one. Some of the best sounds of someone like hitting something. Shout out
Oh,
to the
yeah.
voice actor. I forget his name. Luke.
Luke, voice actor.
Luke
no,
voice actor.
Not Luke voice actor, but
Remaster Shat Mems.
Mm.
Now with gameplay.
Luke Roberts. I think is the just incredible. I love that game, and I think another Silent Hill would be very fun.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I want to see the other ones they got working on too. And then finally, heavy hinting that a Tony Hawk 3+4 is actually coming.
Here we go.
Ooh.
All right.
Here we go.
Potentially so soon that you might see the game before you see this podcast. There is an Easter egg and a new Call of Duty map
Oh,
with
really?
a room full of skateboards and the date March 4th
Oh.
Oh, because it's 3-4.
in the previous game's logo.
But we're going to be busy riding in the mountain with the mountain snowboard.
Right?
I forgot the name. What, mountain board?
Descenders
The
next.
original
Yes.
soundtrack, did the 1 and 2 keep? Did keep any of the original soundtrack? I totally forget.
I think they kept a lot of it. I think there are some concessions that they had to make.
Because if Ace of Spades is not in Tony Hawk 3, don't even do it. You must get that song. I better hear that blasting when that title screen goes, or I'm out.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. I hope Schreier's got the story on that one. I'm
Yeah.
very curious what ended up turning if this game is from the team previously known as Vicarious Visions, or if they contracted it out to somebody else, or what the heck even happened here.
Yeah.
Because it also feels very fast,
So fast, yeah.
right? Like,
Out of the blue.
I suppose they just had to like take the same engine and like recreate the classic maps, but
Yeah.
it's wild to think that this could have gone from no, you're not allowed to do that to oh, it's just out now.
So it's a little scary, you know,
Yeah.
with very fast
Tony
revamps.
Hawk's history has not been the best.
But I mean, if it's good, if it works, we're gonna have a great time. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
It does make me wonder if, like, as soon as Phil Spencer took over and he went down there for those barbecues and, like, marched into somebody's office and, like, guys, we got enough people on Diablo. Get the Tony Hawk guys back over there. Come on.
we all got stuff to do. Important stuff.
All right. Damiani's back. So it is time for love and respect. Uh-oh. Still doing this.
Oh.
There we go. Now I got to find a sweet spot.
Love and respect.
Respect.
From Soltab. Hello, allies and patrons. With the release of Monster Hunter Wilds, what is your two set of weapons? Mine
Ooh.
is the gun lance and the switch axe. For the gun lance, I like the perfect guard when the shield clashes with a monster's head. And for the switch axe, I like it amp and file ejection attack.
Nice. When I played Monster Hunter a little bit. I like the dual blades, Kratos style, and that's kind of I wouldn't know the names of all the weapons. I haven't played that much that I can, and I'm not that familiar with Monster Hunter, but I had a lot of fun with those. I like weapons that are light and fast.
Nice. Damiani, where you at?
I mean, I'm always a greatsword fan, so I always invest time into a greatsword. It's like OG, I think, maybe. I might be wrong on that. But ever since I started playing, like, that was the first one I went with. But with the Wilds, the long sword, because it seemed like it had some pretty cool abilities, including like a sheath parry move where you could like time it and like parry and like slice through the monsters and like be invulnerable, which was kind of like sick looking. Honestly, it just like looks like a long sword, so you look like Sephiroth. So it's like, I'm gonna go be Sephiroth and just kill all these damn monsters. It'd be great.
Nice.
There is some RP to it. You're Sephiroth, and I'm like Kratos.
Isla, you talked a lot about Insect
Yeah.
Glaive. What's your
Yeah.
second?
Yeah, I talked about it before. I have Insect Glaive as my main, and then I rolled a Hunting Horn, which I haven't really used at all so far because I've mostly been playing single player.
Right.
But I like to swap to that when I'm with people I'm actually like talking to on Discord, because then I can be like, okay, here's an attack buff, blah, blah, blah. That is my two.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and I need to mess around with it more to figure out what I like. I do remember playing some longsword and Rise or something like that when we had that Rise demo. From Zach Wojnar. The Circana sales reports are fun because lists are fun. But do you ever get kind of annoyed that you don't have the real numbers? When a movie comes out,
yeah.
we get real box office numbers. When a game comes out, we get almost nothing. Just a ranking of the top 20 best-selling, but not including digital sales for some games. There's no ways to know which months are soft or the gap between the first place and second place games, etc. Will the system ever change? Release the numbers, Piscatella.
It's
I
also
mean-
weird that in film you get such definitive budgets, and
Yeah.
in video games no one ever says.
Because they've probably gone through, they've been around longer, so they've gone through more oversight and litigation, right? So, like, they have to be
Yeah.
more transparent about their books.
I'm not
and-
sure.
But
I'm not aware of anything in film that like mandates they have to say their
Well,
budgets, but
I think they do it. It's to give up the appearance because of they can do their Hollywood accounting, right?
yeah.
Like they want to be look transparent, so they could this is how much it made, but so we didn't make any money back. Haha. You don't
Yeah.
have to pay any royalties, but to answer the question though, yeah, it sucks. But the silver lining, not silver lining, but like one nice thing is at least like Nintendo gives you everything. Eventually, you just go wait every quarter, and then you'll get updates. So it's like you wait 3 months, and so you don't get it monthly, but every 3 months you do get physical, digital combined for their first party offering. So it's not a full picture, but they could also just not be doing that. And who knows? Like if they have another generation where it's as bad as Wii U, they might reconsider. But even through Wii U, that site everyone goes to their financial page has been there since for a while.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I think it's looked like that since maybe the Wii or right when the 3DS launched. Maybe it might have changed slightly, but even through the Wii U generation, they kept updating. So it's that's nice. And I really wish we could just have everything monthly and be able to compare everything just by complete units sold. But that's what happens when you have people own their own storefronts and their own digital storefronts. They don't.
Well, and the fact that we're at
report.
dollar sales now too, Damiani, is kind of weird, right? Because it's
I hate that.
Because it's such a strange thing because now those stupid $100 editions. Oh yeah, did you hear about this? I didn't put this in there, but the PS5 version of Forza Horizon 5 has the $100 play a couple days early version for a game that's 4 years old.
So
Wait, what?
And is it on Game Pass as well?
Yes,
What the
pay
hell?
extra to play it early on PS5. Early.
I
Right.
despise the 100 play early it's so frustrating. I don't understand. Please don't do it, consumers. Don't support this.
But the point being, that's what, those $100 versions feed into the dollar
Yeah.
sales and the ranking and all that. So you're not just seeing units, how many millions or whatever a game sold. You're seeing how much money it brought in.
It's like 3D movie ticket prices.
Yeah,
I mean-
exactly. Yeah.
I think movies also is going to become more and more.
Dud perked up.
I think movies are going to be more muddy because it's all the streaming and how they report on supposedly what is done best of all their movies, and it's do we really know, or is this Netflix telling us that this movie is
Right.
their biggest movie right now? And it's always these murky reports, and so I'm it's I don't know. Everything is just getting murky and muddy and weird, and with games I wish we knew more, but
Yeah. The most annoying thing is when Xbox started hiding their console sales numbers.
yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, this looks bad, so we're just not going to tell you anymore. And, everyone's just got to
Way
figure
better.
out these ballparks for how many Xboxes have sold.
Crazy.
That's why you need was it unions or whatever that's the ones who negotiate the deal for they get their right when they were doing the strike, they had to get access to Netflix had to show the data. They couldn't,
Oh, yeah.
That was part of
For
it. So
royalties.
they could verify Thank you for royalties.
Yeah.
I'm losing it. But yeah, that maybe we get some a moment like that in gaming, if Voice Actors Guild goes
Well, they are on
Like-
strike.
They are on strike.
Right now.
Able to get that as a resolution.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be something that might change where Sircon and everyone else would have to maybe report a little bit more directly so that they could verify stuff like that to make sure that they're getting their appropriate royalties. So
It's an interesting
Yeah.
quandary, like especially with publicly traded companies, like what they do and don't have to disclose, and what we, as consumers, like are entitled to information wise. It's just
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's play a game.
Ah! Ooh. Okay. What's the game?
From Andreas Risberg.
Ooh, okay.
I don't have a catchy name. Oh, wait, I do. Who the boss?
Who the boss?
Bowser, Ganon, Sephiroth, Dr. Eggman, iconic final bosses, all of them. But what of the lesser known bosses that must linger in their more famous colleagues' shadows? Have they not deserved praise and admiration from the masses as well? It's time to shine the spotlight on some of these misfortunate monsters. Can you pair the correct boss with these games?
Oh, God.
So, first one, Ghosts and Goblins. Is the boss Beelzebub, Satan, the devil, or Asmodeus?
is it as? Oh gosh,
Ghosts and Goblins, the NES version.
yeah, it's either Beelzebub or Asmodeus. I forget.
I'm going to just say Asmodeus, because why not?
I'll
just
say Beelzebub.
It's just the devil.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
Lame.
Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Is it the Heart of Darkness?
Ooh.
The Mind of Madness? The Void of Despair? Or the Great Old One?
The great
I'll
old
choose-
one.
I'll choose B.
Heart of Darkness, maybe?
It is the Heart of
theme.
Darkness.
Nice, nice.
I was like, I played this
We got
game.
one.
How many people have played it and never got to the Heart of
I
Darkness?
never
Come
got
on.
to the end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Secret of Mana.
Oh, God.
Is it Kali, Thanatos, Hades, or Anubis?
you could see Kali in hell.
I am a Mana fan, and I would not have remembered this.
I have no idea. I'm going to say Anubis. I'm just going to say stuff.
I'll say Kali for Indiana Jones.
Nice.
Choices.
Kali, Thanatos, Hades, or Anubis?
Just pick one of the other ones.
B.
It's Thanatos, you're right.
Hey,
Nice.
chat
Oh
guys.
yeah.
Okay, this has a note at the end, so we'll get to the note afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Bubble Bubble. Is
Oh, go ahead.
it? Do you know it?
I mean, are you talking about when you get the real thing or the fake thing?
I don't. Well, okay, we'll get there, I guess. Is it Super Funk, Super Drunk, Super Skunk, or Super Trunk?
Okay, I have
Super
no idea.
Funk.
I
Super
was
drunk.
Feeling so good, and then you said those names. I have no idea. D is in dog.
It is Super Drunk.
Yay! I got one.
Here's the note. As I remember it, and according to the manual, actually named Grumple Grommet, but commonly referred to as Super Drunk online, which just is more fun, to be honest.
I mean, super drunk does sound like a final boss.
Grumple Gronic is pretty fun too.
Super drunk.
Love that.
Quake.
Yo.
Is it Cthulhu? Nyarlathotep? Nyarlathotep? Yog-Sothoth? Or Shub Niggurath?
So these are all Lovecraftian villains.
Yeah, I didn't realize Quake was that
B.
hard in
What
there.
was the first one?
It's just Cthulhu.
I would say B.
I think it might be B.
Damiani,
I
did you
said
go?
C.
C?
I said C.
Oh, okay. It was the last one. It was Shub Niggurath.
The worst one to say. Never loved that one.
Yeah.
And also,
Right.
Lovecraft was a horrible racist.
He was,
So, yeah.
Yay.
Battletoads. Was it Dominatrixia?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
The Dark Queen?
Ooh.
Barbarella? Or Miss Misery?
I'm going to say the last one because that sounds
Yeah, maybe Miss Misery.
Miss Misery sounds fun.
A.
It is the Dark Queen.
Damn it.
Aw, damn.
Swordfish knew it.
Nice.
I feel like this one's too easy, but we'll go with it. Streets of Rage 2. Is it Mr. X, Mr.
Yes.
Y, Mr. Z, or Mr. Dollar Sign?
It's Mr. X.
Yeah.
I'll say Mr. Dollar Sign.
Mr. Dollar Sign.
Yeah, I'll say dollar sign too, just
Yeah.
because.
Mr. X. We got a DLC in Streets of Rage 4, so it's been in the head. The Evil Within.
Oh.
Oh.
Is it the
Say the name.
Is it the anagram, the anal gland, the amygdala, or the amalgam?
The amalgam.
Isn't it the
Is it amygdala?
the one with the A? What do you pronounce
They
it?
all have
They all have an A. That's the whole point.
Say them again. Sorry.
Anagram,
No.
anal gland,
No.
amygdala,
It's D.
amalgam.
The D.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's D.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wasn't even listening. Yeah, those were joke answers. So.
It's a D.
It is. It's the amalgam.
Yay. Shout out to the Evil Within 2 trailer being incredible.
Mitochondria.
Wolfenstein 3D.
Hitler.
Is it Hitler? Is it General Fettgesicht? Is it Dr. Mengele? Or is it Heinrich Himmler?
It feels like in a macro, you know, it would be Hitler. It's like an all-encompassing. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
It might be, what was D again?
D maybe.
It was Heinrich Himmler.
Himmler.
B was the one I don't remember being an actual person. So it could be that. I thought it was just Hitler, but I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't.
I'll say D. Why not? I don't know. I
It
didn't.
is
Yeah.
General Fettgesicht.
Yay.
And then last one from Prototype.
Oh.
Is it Weapon X, Perfect Predator, Supreme Hunter, or The Prototype?
Oh my god.
C.
See?
D.
It is C, Supreme Hunter. There we go.
I gotta.
That was fun.
That was fun. I trivia is not my strong suit.
Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you. Fun game.
By the way, right after this brief message, we've got 2 bonus questions coming up. We got one talking about the Vita. We got another one talking about some more Monster Hunter stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, keep an eye out if you want to get in on those bonus questions. Become a patron at $5 and up. You also will get this podcast 2 days early. You'll get in on that Discord.
Nice.
And you'll get all kinds of other fun goodies. And we need your support to keep this show rolling. So if you're taking the time, please take a little bit of that cash and put it in there to help us out and pay the bills. And our shout outs go to, if you really want to help us out, you can get our producer tiers. We got our platinum producers who help us out on patreon.com/easyallies every month. And they get shout out on this podcast every week. This month's shout outs go to Jabawebs, Elthanis, and Raymond Wheeler III. Shout out.
Shout out.
All right. Now get those bonus questions on Patreon. It is time for bets. This week's bet. Split Fiction is out next Thursday. Go watch that preview. That game is sick. Really looking forward to diving into the full game. There are a crazy number of creative ideas just coming at you rapid fire. It is the next crazy co-op game from Joseph Ferris and Hazelight, people behind It Takes Two. The story is centered around 2 writers who get trapped in a virtual version of their stories. And they're basically, it's like a commentary on AI. Mm-hmm. They're ripping not only their stories, but every creative idea that's ever been in their head. This publisher's just sucking it out of them.
Awful.
So what I want to know is how many times we will hear the words write, writer, writing, written, wrote, any form of the word write in the game before players get to take control. All those cutscenes, all that introductory stuff, talking about them being writers. First, Damiani, arrogant child, how many times?
Let's go 21, blackjack.
21 times. Sophia,
I wrote 15.
15 times. Isla,
33.
33. That's the whimsical scum, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Don, punish Castellanos.
He wrote an E, a backwards 3.
3.
E3 is back.
E3 is back? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Gabby, strange Valentine.
25.
25.
Wow.
And myself, the wicked worm, I went with 13.
Oh,
Ah.
good number. Yeah, I feel like I was low, but I guess you have 13, so.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
well.
Ain't nothing lower than 3.
Yeah, Don's got the low.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
very low.
Last week's bet, we bet on how many times how many viewers Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii would have on Twitch.
Oh.
Damiani bet 31,000. I bet 9,000. Isla bet 30,000. Don bet 19,000. Gabby bet 20,000. And Huber bet 14,000. The answer right before we started recording? 2,000.
I was gonna
What?
say, I don't think this is a streamable game because people want to play it for themselves.
It had
I wonder.
18,000 when you asked that.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, it was like 54.
A certain person was streaming it, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or when Huber
Classic
asked it,
certain
because
people.
I did not write this bet.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Somebody chatted me because I was sick. Why is this making a noise?
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's right. I sent it to you. Yeah, that's true.
Like I want to play that on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's crazy. I wonder if that number. Yeah. It was really high because someone was streaming it and then.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think Damiani was noting that. Yeah. So I won that bet because I had the lowest, but I was still ways off. It's 9,000.
Wow.
It was 2,000. That brings our
Facts.
scores to 2 for the punished Castellanos.
Dispatch, me llamo Castellanos. Estoy planeando la muerte de todos.
And now I have 2 for the wicked worm.
Our lives. What the hell?
Yeah, let me talk about some stuff coming up. We got some previews. I just shot one with Isla that I'm very excited about. Like I said, having a hard time containing myself on that one. Definitely look forward to that coming up next week. We also are hoping to get a split fiction playthrough streaming me and Huber. I want to start that next week, probably next Thursday before the podcast. So I'll have to try to get prepped ahead of time, get everything ready. PSA for Easy Allies Plays and Twitch. If you've not been aware of this saga, this struggle, Twitch is nuking all the storage space. They're basically telling everyone you have to have less than 100 hours of highlights. And we had 11,900 hours.
Oh my god. A little too much, yeah.
And they won't allow you to make any new highlights until you're under the limit.
Oh my god.
So I've been going through
Which
and
is so scuffed, by the way.
Yeah, that is scuffed.
I've been blasting out a lot of stuff. I got it down to like 2,000 or something. But then we had all these things that we just like, oh, we'll just leave that on Twitch. We don't need to transfer it. It's like, well, now I'm transferring it all.
Yeah.
So people are seeing the flood of stuff on Easy Allies Plays, but that's why we have a separate channel. It's like the algorithms and the subs and all that stuff, whatever. It doesn't matter on that channel. So
Garbage channel.
yeah. Thank you for your patience as I'm beginning through all that. I think I will probably be done by the end of the weekend at the latest, at least in terms of transferring stuff, because I'm in like mid-end of like 2022 right now. 2022 and 2023 have a lot.
Crazy.
But then once I get to like 2024, there's a lot less that hasn't been backed up already. So we'll get there. We're almost there. Also, just general kind of long term, for this show, we got some guests coming. We got some good guests coming.
Some real good guess.
Yeah. So I've got one locked in. I got somebody else that just working out on some timing. A couple other people are on deck that I'm talking about right now. So, yeah, look forward to that over the next couple of months. We got some people coming in.
Nice.
And now, since I won that bet, I get to shout out anything or anyone that's on my mind this week. I get a final word, and I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. Shout out to everyone working on that Wonder Woman game. Yeah, just
nice.
yeah, we see you. We know that you were working on something that you really cared about, and it sucks to get it pulled out from under you after just being given a raw deal to begin with. So, yeah, definitely hope you'll find great places to land, and we see what's coming up next. Final word. Just reiterate, play that demo for Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. Because yeah, it's fun to have demos that are not just a part of the game. And we will see you before the next Blood Moon Rises.
Incredible value.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Jabawabs, L. Fanis, Raymond Wheeler III, Jay Shee, Jesper Popmel Dufay, Roy Sung. 44 stars, Alexander Zirianov, Andri, Brandon White, Brian Kruger, Colton Pichone, Daniel Martinek, Douglas Chomich, Faraz Rizvi, Garrett Holfish, G. Levin, Hayden Hargraves, Jesse Blue, Jesus R., Matthew Pauling, Miguel Rivas, Mo Grant, Paul Sway, Ronka Q, Robert Stoffel, Sam Handrick, Stomps, Stepan Hakobian, The Banana Forklift Killer, Chum Nguyen, Zigazich, Anish Dor, Aaron Haney, Accounts Payable, Alex Monaco, Anacroft, Anthony F., Anthrioni, Arthur Lau, Austeel, Barry Tomasini, Brian Foster, Bunny Chen, C.S. Lewis, Katie Garza, Carlos Delgato, Chief Uhu, Chris Eccles, Christopher Santis, Clay Roberts, Colin Montoot, Connell Sumlin, Corey Jackson, Corey Landega, Crumb Eyes, Culinary Stud, Cyberboa, Dan Sebring, Daniel Kozlowski, Daniel Wong, David Aniki, Enya Hink, Eric Tobias, Espen Gotchman, Ethereal Ether, Forever Ender, Forrest, Frogshirt, Gabriel Smith, Jen Woofles, Gino A. Leet, Gustav Strombaum, Harrison Holt, Sun Chor, Ian Anderson, Jack Forrest, Gerald, Jesse Fish, Jesse Wilkeson, John McCullough, John Prey, Junya Motomura, Carl Williams, Keegan Boyle, Kevin Gillet, Kroldemort, Leon Keys, Luis Ibarra, Lying Crown 19, Marco Hernandez, Materia Addict, Matthias Clare, Max Miller, Miguel, Nefertiti Jenkins, Nycrypt, Nikhil Sharma, Ninja Kitty Meow, Ono Turtle, Orugachino, Pablo Rodriguez, Panamuse, Patrick Held, Pixelated, Pulphead, Ray Aldiar, Reed Johnson, Richard Ma, Ritz 1906, Robert 7 Lee, Robin, Ryan Rudger, Sage Mode Q, Salvers, Samuel Copeland, SD Prima, Sebastian T, Servino, Sean Johnstone, Cito, Sneaky Gato, Strikeout NZ, Sultab, Tadashi 047, Taffy 9K, Tim Strothman, This is my username 1466, Tomovi Kioni, Travis Ing, Trizak, Wouter DeHaze, Yami Zetsumi.